بتنشر رسالة المحبة والسلام من قلب الاغتراب لكل العالم. صوت المحبة صارت أكتر من محطة، صارت نبض بالأمل وبالمحبة وبالقيم الحقيقية. ينعاد عليكي ويضل صوتك عم بيوحد القلوب ويقرب الناس من بعضها. كل سنة وانتي بألف خير. صوت المحبة.
حبيتك والشوق انقال وليلات الحلوة عالبال، وأنا وإنتي من 7 سنين منسافر سوا من غرفة صغيرة وميكروفون، منزور كل الدنيا ومنحكي عن العذراء ويسوع، منسمع تراتيل ومنحكي ناس وناس. وبعيدك 20 بدي قلك إنك صحيح علمتينا المحبة يا صوت المحبة، وكبرنا معك خطوة وخطوة. إن شاء الله تبقي عطول هالشمعة المضوية وعقبال 100 سنة، وكل سنة وانت ونحنا مثل حبة المسبحة مجموعين تنحب بعض ونحبك أكتر. عبير سليمان الياس.
يا صوت المحبة يا كل المنى، خليكي بقلبي.
أحبائي مستمرين بالنقل المباشر، عم نستعد هلأ لاستقبال شبيبة الأبرشية من كل الرعاية، وأكيد مع شبيبة مار يوحنا لهيك يغيروا لنا الأجواء ويحمسوا العالم لتتصل وتتبرع بهالنهار المبارك. أكيد مثل ما قلنا لكم قبل أنه صار عدد المتبرعين، العدد النهائي، الرقم النهائي 13130 13,130. أكيد بدنا نجرب لنوصل لل20,000 ببركاتكم وعطائكم الصغير البنوت الصغيرة لتكبر أكيد بالنعمة والحكمة والقامة. وبذكركن على الساعة 9:30 مساء رح نرجع مع شبيبة مار يوحنا، ورح يكون عنا اتصال مع أبونا مارون من لبنان وأبونا حنون من فرنسا بنقل مباشر. رح نكون معهم لهيك يحكونا شوي عن صوت المحبة، كيف ابتدت وكيف مستمرة بعدها لهلأ. أكيد درجة درجة ومنوصل لل100 سنة يا رب. يعني ما في يخبركم الرقص كيف عم بيمشي هلا بالاستوديو والحماس. اكيد بدنا نتحمس كلنا سوا لنتشارك ونشجع هالشبيبه، لانه هن جيل المستقبل يلي رح تكفي كنيستنا معهم وعلى درب الرب مثل ما تعلموا بهالمسيره بهالحياه. بيكبروا يوم بعد يوم وبيعطوا من عطائهم لتكبر رعيتهم بوين ما كانوا.
محبة بين كل اللبنانيين المقيمين في أستراليا، وتحياتنا بننقلها لكل العاملين في هذه الإذاعة الكريمة. تحياتنا لكل العاملين وكل المستمعين، على أمل أن تظل هذه الإذاعة منارة بتضوي نور ومحبة، وهي اسم على مسمى على كل المتكلمين بلغة الضاد، وخاصة اللبنانيين المقيمين في أستراليا وكل أنحاء بقية العالم. تحياتنا من جديد. جورج مخول، مسؤول إعلام في نادي شباب لبنان الأسترالي.
يا صوت الحب الصريح، صوتك عقلبي مريح. يا صوت الحب الصريح، صوتك يا صوت المسيح. بحقول الجنة، بحقول الجنة.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
هابي بيرثداي صوت المحبة ب20 سنة. هابي بيرثداي صوت المحبة. وما في لكم هلا مين اجا لعنا على الاستوديو، بدكم تجربوا تحذروا مين معنا.
هلا معكم مستمعي صوت المحبة، أهلا وسهلا فيكم وين ما كنتوا عم تسمعونا. هابي بيرثداي تو فويس اوف تشاريتي. 20 سنة فيرا، معقول؟
نعم 20 سنة. صار عمرك 20 سنة جيسي؟
أنا لا، بس أختي الصغيرة صوت المحبة صار عمري 20 سنة، وأنا كتير كتير مبسوطة أني أكون موجودة معكم اليوم. الله معكم أختي، عن جد اشتقت لكم كتير، وكتير مبسوطة أني أكون موجودة بعيد صوت المحبة.
جيسي، نحن قلنا إلك فقدة بهالإذاعة، يعني معودين إنه نلبكك بالشغل، ولكن أنا هلأ عم بتلبك بالشغل. الله يقويكي. بدنا جيسي، بدنا 10 مثل جيسي ليجوا يبقوا يساعدونا. وهون أنا بحب إنه وجه تحية ونداء لكل الأشخاص يلي بتحب إنه تساعد بصوت المحبة وتتطوع. أكيد بوابنا مفتوحة للكل، وبنطلب منكم إنه تتصلوا فينا ليصير في عنا متطوعين جدد، لأنه الإذاعة بلشت تكبر، عم نضطر إنه نجود بالموجود مثل ما بيقولوا، وعم ننقل مباشرة خارج استوديواتنا. يعني عنا مثل ما عم بتشوفوا عبر صفحتنا عم نضطر انه نطلع لبرا ونكون بنقل مباشر، وهالفندز يلي عم نجمعها اليوم هي بتطورنا اكتر ليكون الايمج مثل ما بيقولوا والبث واضح وكتير حلو. أكيد عم بدنا نوجه تحية لكل الأشخاص يلي عم بتوجه لنا دعوات لنلبي، ولكن أكيد مش رح نقدر نلبي كل الدعوات لأنه نحن اسم الله قليل، بس أكيد كتار بمحبتكم وقلوبكم الواسعة. بشكركم جميعا، وبدنا نقلكم كمان انه صوت المحبة بتنقل مباشرة من وين ما كنتوا. يعني هلأ صوت المحبة رح تكون بديسمبر عم تنقل من نيوزيلند، رح منطير من سيدني على نيوزيلند لنكون ببث مباشر من نيوزيلند لإلكن لتقدروا تستمعوا لكل جديد بوين ما كنا، وكل ما مطارح مطلوب منا انه صوت المحبة تكون موجودة. لكن أحبائي رح منكون هلأ مع شبيبة الأبرشية، و أكيد بنتوقع منكم أنه تتصلوا فينا مباشرة على 0296256111، أو بتقدروا تبعتوا رسالة على الواتساب على +61 4930599793.
Perfect motivation, feel the vibe, enjoy the fascination. All your friends are here tonight. Happy anniversary, we hold you tight. It's a perfect situation. Hale and hard, what a combination. Once again, this is your night, and everyone feels right. Happy birthday to you.
راشيل، شو رأيك نبلش نحط صف من تحت كمان ليبلشوا يقعدوا، لأنه اسم الله صرتوا كتار، بس وين بدنا نفوت بعد حدا ليفوت على الاستوديو؟ بعد بتساعوا؟
بعد رح نعمل فقرة تانية لأنه مش رح نساع بالاستوديو، رح نبلش بأول فقرة بعد شوي. وهلا
قصدك هلا
رح نبلش الفقرة أكيد.
أهلا وسهلا بشبيبة الأبرشية لإلك راشيل.
الله معكم أحبائي صوت المحبة. I'm going to jump to English so everyone does understand. So welcome to the Voice of Charity. I do have other parishes here with me today, and we are blessed to have you join us today. We've got Our Lady of Lebanon, St. George in Thornley, and Christ the Redeemer. So thank you guys for being here with us. We really appreciate it. To celebrate 20 years of the Voice of Charity, once again, the lines are open and the phone number is 96256111. We have currently raised $13,030. So our goal is to get this higher, and we are reading all your comments too. So if you would like to comment or phone up and wish the Voice of Charity a happy birthday, we are taking the lines. So I've got Salim here with me. He's a familiar face to you all. So Salim, once again, just introduce your role and who you are.
Hi everyone, my name is Salim. I am the Vice Coordinator of St. John the Beloved Youth in Mount Druitt. I've been serving for roughly 5 years now, and that's about it.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I'll jump over to St. George. Georgina, tell us who you are and your role at the parish.
Alright, hi everyone. I'm Georgina. Everyone knows me as Georgie. I'm the Exec Advisor for the St. George Youth Group.
Sorry, can you just repeat
That's
that
okay,
again?
that's all
Sorry.
Hi everyone. My name is Georgina, or everyone knows me as Georgie, and I am from St. George, and I am the Executive Advisor for the Youth Group.
Thank you, thank you. And over to Our Lady of Lebanon. If you can introduce yourself.
My name is Marielle. I am the Spiritual Coordinator at Our Lady.
And I am Jacob. I am the Vice Coordinator for Our Lady of Lebanon.
Perfect. We will now jump over to the left here. So we'll I think that lapel should be on. So if you can just introduce yourself and let us know your role within the parish.
My name's Catherine. I'm the Spiritual Coordinator at St. George Parish.
My name's Nancy, and I'm the Assistant Coordinator at Christ the Redeemer.
My name's Adriana, and I'm the Youth Coordinator at Christ the Redeemer.
Perfect. All right. Thank you again for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it, and we are here to have a good chat. We are here to have a laugh, some quizzes, some fun questions. So we'll get into it. So I just want to see if anyone's willing to jump up and just share your story about how you got into volunteering. Were you always involved in the church? Did something, happen for you to get involved and become in the committee? So if anyone would like to answer, Georgie, maybe if you want to answer.
Yeah, no worries. I grew up at St. George. I always have been. It's basically been a second home to me. So joining the youth group was basically second nature for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. What about anyone else?
I'm happy to go.
Yeah, of course.
So I actually went to school at Our Lady of Lebanon, which is now called Maranat College of the Holy Family, and most of my friends basically were part of Fersen teens. I went as well. And then when I was older, left school, I went to youth events, and I had friends who were part of the youth committee, and they basically dragged me to all events, and now I'm here.
All right. Oh, sorry, Sam. Do you want to give us a rundown? How did you get involved? How did you get into the committee or involved in the church?
So I was dragged to the church as well. So when I first started coming, I was roughly 17 years old. But when I was born, this was my parish, so this has always been my parish. So you could say I've been here for the last 21 years. But yeah, so I was 17. I wasn't really too much into my faith. Unfortunately, like most 17-year-olds aren't. But then when I started coming, I started to find my crowd, because I didn't really fit in at school. I didn't really fit in elsewhere. At work, it was not my environment that I wanted to be in. So when I came to St. John's, I thought to myself, finally, I found the crowd that I want to be around, and I feel comfortable and I'm happy here. And because of that, I ended up staying, and then you come to every single event, and then you meet people. And then next minute, there was the committee, and I was like, I'd really like to be part of that, because I want to give back to the church that gave me something, which was that crowd. And ever since then, I've been here now. So yeah, you could say it's been coming up to my 5th year now, serving in the committee.
Beautiful. And I'm much like Salim. we actually went to school together, primary school and high school, so we both felt we didn't fit into the environment.
And we share a birthday.
And we share a birthday, actually,
Yeah.
just 1 year apart. So, yeah, we both have a very similar mindset in terms of we just didn't fit into our school crowd, and then we were dragged to church when we were young, and then we just got dragged into all the activities, and then we joined the committee. So I've been serving in the committee for 6 years now, on to the 7th year. Thank God, praise God. And like Sam said, it's a way to give back. We're here to serve without having an intention of being rewarded.
Yeah.
Our goal essentially is eternity, and we want that reward to be our reward. So yeah, just we'll have a bit of a laugh now. I want to ask you all a question. So if anyone can answer, or if anyone has an answer to this. So if you could describe your parish youth group, and if it was a movie, what would you put the title? What would the title be of your youth group? So does anyone want to jump up, have an answer to that?
I'm happy to be thrown under the bus.
Is that the title?
No. Although that would be a very fitting title for our parish youth group. I'm going to throw someone else under the bus, though. Father Chabel, please don't hate us. But we would call the title of our movie The Bold and the Beautiful, bold spelt with an A, and the rest of us are beautiful.
Okay,
I like that.
That's a good one. Shout out to Father Chabel. We all love you, and tahiyyat from Salt al-Mahabbe, somebody that's here present. You see him once a fortnight on the screen with Maronite Down Under. So does anyone else for their parish, have a movie title? Georgie, do you have one maybe, or? No,
I do. I have
you
one.
have one? Okay.
So
good.
I don't know. I feel like I can speak on behalf of our church.
Yes.
Bold.
Yeah, with an A. Don't say that. So I don't know. I watched a lot of Lebanese sort of shows when I was younger because my parents are both immigrants. So Mafi Mitlo, if anyone's watched Mafi Mitlo. So yeah, I feel like I'm Mr. Lughat, and there's a lot of Mr. Bakhils. So yeah, I think it's a very fitting for our parish at least.
You can tell we're sort of like the import parish, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
We've always had the joke you need a passport to get to Mount Druitt.
Yeah.
So from the other parishes. So Mafi Mitlo, it's a good one. I agree, Sam. I agree. On behalf of St. John's. Does anyone else have a movie name or? For their parish? No? It's okay, I threw you under the bus, I understand that, but we thought we'll have a laugh on air. Alright, what about this one? If you could invite one person from the Bible to any youth event, so whether it's a retreat, a youth hafle, it doesn't matter, who would it be and why? Who would it be?
This one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want my lapel?
sorry.
Oh, you got lapel.
Yeah. So we had the invitation would go to King David was our one, and he'd come to our youth dinner dance, and he'd dance up a storm is what we had coming through from us. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Very good one.
Have a good time.
Very good one. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel the basic answer is Jesus, but we're going to go with Jesus. But just for a logistics sake, he'll be there with his water turning into wine, free alcohol for the night.
Oh yeah.
We've got loaves of bread, we've got fish, we've got it all for the night, so we're happy with that.
Do you have one?
I mean, both of your ones are very funny, but I'm going to take it really deep right now. Our one for St. George was St. John the Beloved, and basically for a retreat to give us a talk on what it felt like to be part of Jesus' journey and what it felt like to be at the foot of the cross in his final moments, and how he would have felt personally when Jesus said to him, "Behold your mother." That has probably been a really burning question, I guess, for our youth, if that question ever came to us.
Yeah, of course. That's very powerful. Amen to that. And I think we'd all want that opportunity to be there or witness what it was like to be at the foot of the cross. So, yeah, no, thank you for that. Great answers from you all, and it's about having some fun too with this imaginary question, I guess. So, and moving on to your parishes, like within your parishes, what's your, I guess, without being biased in terms of what your role is. If you're a spiritual coordinator, you're going to say your favourite event is a spiritual event. But, you know, give us a description, like what do you think your favourite parish event is, or youth event, I should say, and why? Like, is there any reason why one specific event is your favourite? So there's CTR, yeah?
We can start.
Yeah. I don't actually know if adoration is just youth, but I am going to go with adoration because I feel like in such a busy month, week, day, whatever it's been, it's probably the only place I can get to where everything just shuts down. So I genuinely don't know if that was a youth answer.
Yeah, no, it's still.
But yeah, it's like, it is majority youth, and yeah, it's just the one place everything goes quiet.
Yeah. And then mine will be the opposite end of the spectrum. I'd say for us, we've done the Faith Food Fire events. We do them once a month. And it's just one of those unique events. We've had a lot of people come from outside of, you know, our Maronite faith come to these events and really be asking the questions, asking the deep questions, wanting to know more. And it's a really good social environment as well. You never know what you're going to hear or what question you're going to ask. And even when you're sitting in that space and the topic is there, half the time it's like, oh, I never thought of that question, but you've asked it, now I'm thinking about it too. So it's just that unique space. So yeah, I'd definitely say the big faith spiritual events are a good one.
Yeah, no, that's very good. I think if I'm not wrong, I think Mons was on Maronite Down Under interview not long ago with Paul, and he touched on that, and I think there was a lot of questions thrown about that. So correct me if I'm wrong, it's every Tuesday, I think Tuesday evening, there's a,
once a month on
oh,
a
once a
Saturday.
month, okay, so I was wrong.
It's okay. What you're talking about is the charismatic prayer.
Okay, yes, okay, so yeah, there you go, every, once a month, I should say, on a Saturday. No, that's really great to have. So any other parishes, like any of your, you know, favourite event and why?
I have one.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Well, my favourite event at the moment is book club. The reason is because the people who are part of book club make it special because everybody's at different stages in their faith journeys, and so the questions are very fruitful for everyone, and we learn from each other and our experiences, and the books so far have been incredible, and we've learned a lot from reading them. So yeah, we've just formed a very close-knit group as well, and I welcome everyone who would like to learn more about their faith in a very welcoming environment to our book club, and it's on Tuesday nights, but it will probably change to Thursday nights next year, and we just sit and discuss. It can go from anywhere between 1 hour to 3, but you're free to leave anytime you want.
What are you guys reading at the moment?
I was going to go with Theology Under the Stars, similar to Faith, Food and Fire. Once a month, we just stand around, ask questions. It gets bigger crowds, so there's a wide range of people. Everyone just gets into it with questions. We establish a few questions, and it's good getting different perspectives on different areas of life.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I think maybe you had a question about the book club, maybe, if you want to.
Yeah, what are you guys reading at the moment?
Jesus the Bridegroom by Brant Petrie.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Do you have any favourite event? And
I'm going to be really generic with my answer and say youth mass. Just basically because at St. George, our youth mass wasn't as strong as what it is now, and now we are literally the biggest liturgy that our church celebrates every week, which is absolutely incredible to see. And similar to your Faith and Fire nights, we have people join us for mass from all different walks of life, whether they are from the Maronite faith or not. And praise God, we actually had someone at the beginning of this year be baptised in our Maronite faith, purely just from coming to mass and wanting to learn more about what being a Maronite really is. And I think that's basically the epitome of what we all want to discover as young Maronites. So definitely youth mass is my favourite part of being in the youth group.
Yeah, no, that's I think, very powerful response, and I think that speaks on behalf of the whole eparchy, really. So I think youth mass is something that's grown over the last, 4 to 5 years rapidly. Like, I can see that from my involvement being in the committee for 6+ years, and just seeing each parish grow. Like, even St. John's, Sam knows, we were small, we were the baby of every parish, and then now we have a youth mass where we're having 300+ people, which is amazing for what St. John's was and what it is now. So I think youth mass is the centre of where every other activity comes from. So if without that youth mass, then these spiritual activities, these social activities, which is important, it's good to have a balance. We shouldn't be extremists. It's a balance of both, some social, some spiritual. It's very good to grow, the youth of this society. It's a very, unfortunately, we live in a very tough world today. So to be able to grow these young members and seeing these teens or emerged teens come into the youth, especially this year at our parish, we've had teens come into our youth or no longer teens join the youth, and it's about growing them, it's about guiding them, and that's what leadership is. So and that touches on my next question to you all, actually. Like, how has your own faith evolved through your role being a volunteer? So whether you're new into the volunteering side of things in the parish, just as a youth member yourself, like, how has your faith evolved by being involved? So do you guys have an answer to that?
Well, I feel like my spiritual life has definitely developed being spiritual coordinator. I've been able to help more people and reach out to more people, and I love that people find me trusting to come and ask me questions, whatever they need. That's definitely helped me.
Yeah, of course. That's massive too. For it was only last week, actually, after Sunday Mass, we had a talk, and a young girl approached me, and I seen her this whole week attending. Like, we were decorating for Christmas, preparing, and she approached me and she started to seek, these questions. She started to ask about confession. She started to ask, what should we be saying in confession, or how do I confess? And it was like 11:30. Everyone was ready to go home at this stage. But at that point, you realize as a leader, no, I cannot leave in this moment and go home when somebody's seeking. What if this person doesn't come back? She's obviously seeking in this moment and has had the courage to ask these questions. We ended up sticking around till roughly 1:30 in the morning just chatting. Wow. So I think it's very, it gives you that, that hope that people are still seeking, and it makes you grow yourself when somebody else is asking these questions and you're answering them with the basics, really, but it's not basic for everyone. It just makes you think, okay, wow, there's a lot of people that need that little push, that little encouragement, and that conversation from one question asking to, from one question starting out, how do I confess, to literally, we ended up going through the examination of conscience with her and explaining that. So I think it's very important as leaders to be able to answer the questions that these young members have. So I think I spoke maybe on behalf of everyone sitting here in that sense, but it's good to hear someone else's journey. Maybe you have a story where that's happened or a similar scenario has happened. So does anyone want to share anything in that sense, or even your own faith? How has that grown? So does anyone? Anyone?
I'm happy to.
Yeah, I think
you should.
It should be on. Let's try.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely in moving into the leadership space, it definitely began to start feeling like we've been tasked with a mission to help our youth and to be the vessels that can help bring that fire back into the space, into our beliefs, and allow us to be strong again in our faith. We are the next youth, and the teens are always watching us as we're on this journey, so we need to have that strong faith and understanding behind us. And I think it's really gotten to the point where we're never going to know everything, but we're only in a space where we can try and get as much information as we can and be open to learning and new ideas and all of those things. So it's definitely got that feeling that we have a responsibility and duty to help bring the youth in and to build their knowledge, so when they come to build families, they're able to keep people in church, not be walking away from church. So it's really important.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Anyone else would like to touch on that or share anything, or all good in that sense? Yeah.
I just wanted to add to your point, Rochelle. the way that I've grown is because I've been kept accountable as the person who is responsible and who is doing the leading.
Yeah.
For example, in book club, I hadn't before joining book club really touched a book and actually read it from start to finish for maybe 6 years. And so book club has kept me accountable, and I've read now almost 3 books.
Wow.
And also in my prayer life, making sure that I'm attending Mass, that I'm doing the prayers that I should be doing to keep my relationship close to God, so that I am able to impart what I have. Because if I don't have that deep intimacy, then I can't share it with others.
Yeah, of course. That's very important. I just would like to remind everyone that the lines are open, so you can dial up on 96256111. We do have a quiz that will probably come up in the second segment for the youth, so get your ears ready because there is a prize up for grabs. So it's 10 questions that are going to be shot at you, and you have to answer in under 2 minutes. So please feel free to dial up and even wish the Voice of Charity a happy birthday. And as you can see, the donations are going up. So now we're at 13,330. So if you would like to make a small donation, the bank details are showing up on the screen, and you can call up to make the donation over the phone also. So maybe just to give it a small wrap up really, because we do have to jump into the next segment. I'd like everyone to give a message to the young youth. So to the young listeners that may be listening right now, an important message that they should take back, whether it's about encouraging them to take part in youth activities or coming to church, or even encouraging them to leadership, whether it's in the youth or we have blessings like Maranatha on a Mission, for example, and just any volunteer, even like volunteering here at the Voice of Charity, for example, a radio station that's pretty much radiating the love, it's radiating the charity. So does anyone, or if everyone, or maybe each parish can give one message to the young listeners? Do you just want to start at Our Lady? Yep.
I was thinking in a more simple sense, start by showing up. Like, it's as simple as show up on a Sunday, hear during announcements there's something happening during the week, you're there on Wednesday, you start talking. That's how I got involved. There was one announcement saying who would like to be a part of the committee. 6 months later, I'm sitting here. So it's as simple as attendance, and you'll get there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Basically, just showing up is definitely a big thing, but also don't give up. If all of our faith journeys were simple and easy, everyone would do it. And I know for a lot of young people that their faith and being involved in their faith is something that seems so daunting and stuff, but I can guarantee you it's honestly one of the best things that you can do, especially for someone who doesn't know where to start with their faith and who wants to just grow closer to God, grow closer to Jesus. Definitely showing up, like what Our Lady said, but also don't give up. That's what my message would be.
That's beautiful. Christ the Redeemer?
I think if anything, and I think what I wish I knew or got told earlier, is that the spiritual journey is so hard. It has its ups, it has its downs. So I think my piece of advice would be to really lean on the people around you. The ups are better when you have people to share them with, and the downs are easier when you have those people who really get it, because everyone's going through the same thing. You might be at a different stage in your journey, but no one gets you like the people around you at your parish. And I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, of course. Before we do wrap up, I have been told there is a phone call on the line, so if you would like to put that person on air. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. Whoever's on the line, I can hear you now, so hello. Sorry, I think I can't hear or can't get anyone. We're getting some feedback. We can hear ourselves. Hello.
I'm on air.
Sorry, yes.
Okay, my question is, مجدرة وفاصوليا.
مجدرة أو فاصوليا.
Oh no, there's a very simple answer. No, there is.
No, I think it's really hard.
I think it's a very simple answer. I think it's fasulya.
Really?
Fasolya.
I really love mjadra as well.
But are you eating mjadra or mdadra?
Absolutely. No, I'm eating mjadra. So I'm from the
If you had to pick one meal for the rest of your life, mjadra or fasulya?
Ooh, actually, that's really hard for me. So our mjadra doesn't have barely any rice in it because usually it's made with a lot of rice.
Yeah.
It's literally all lentils.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I have to touch on that. Paul Chiriak, if you are listening, we had a massive debate about this about a year ago. So Paul is from the north and I am from Beirut. So I eat it like the south does. It's pure lentils, no rice, and that is the correct mjadra. Okay? I fight that. And so if I had to, I believe that's Bridget, by the way, on the line. Bridget's actually a part of our committee, so thank you for calling up. If I had to live off one for the rest of my life, hands down, it's mjadra. I love mjadra. It's not the meal that makes me upset. I actually enjoy when my mum calls me and says, Rachel, I made the mjadra. Okay? So I get excited.
Do you ever question who you're friends with? 'Cause I'm very questioning right now what's going on.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I obviously very clearly disagree. It's definitely fasulya. I don't know what use. Like, I don't think there's an argument. It's clearly fasulya, especially if it's not atir, so there has to be lahm in it.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know about this atir situation. No. Yeah, so fasulya with all of the salt. I dress it in salt.
Okay.
Final answer. Sorry.
We agree.
Fasulya.
Done.
Fasulya.
So 4 on fasolya.
Gusa.
Okay. Or fasolya or
I'll go fasulya.
fasolya.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're out. We've been outnumbered here,
Yeah.
so it's okay. I'll still stick to my argument that the people from the south cook the right mjadra. Paul Chiriak, that one is for you. So thank you for listening, everyone. رح ناخد فاصل صغير ونكون معكم بفقرة تانية مع الشبيبة الباقي الأبرشية.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you now?
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday,
This year we are celebrating 20 amazing years with you on the Voice of Charity. We thank you for your love and support, and it's because of you that we've come this far. We're so excited for the many, many more memories to come. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and God bless you all. Anna Maria.
Who would believe that I could be happy and contented? I used to think that happiness hadn't been.
رحلة 20 سنة مع صوت المحبة، ذكريات وصور بالبال، صلاة وترتيلة، بخور وموال. بث مباشر على الهواء بضيافة السيدة ماري رزق على العنوان 13 بالدوين أفنيو، وينستون هيل. كونوا معنا بمشوار 90 دقيقة لصوت المحبة تتكبر المحبة وبتزين القلوب، وبيوم واحد بالسنة نتذكر فيه مشوار 20 سنة. إعداد وتقديم شادية الحاج حجار، تصوير فيرا رحمة فغالي، وعلى هندسة الصوت عبير سليمان الياس.
بالغربي خليكي بغربي وديني بالغربي يا نعمي من راح.
صوت المحبة ينعاد عليكي وعقبال 100 سنة.
ألو، صوت المحبة، كيفك اليوم؟ مدري ليه خطر عبالي اليوم اسأل عنك. 20 سنة وانت بتسألي عنا. يا لطيف العمر كيف بيمرق غفلة. غمض عين فتح عين بتلاقي حالك صرت بأي دنيا وبغير دنيا. هيك كانوا يقولوا الكبار، وبيقولوا كمان اللي ما عنده كبير يفتش ع كبير. وانت يا كبيري ناطرتينا نرجع لعندك، مثل هالشجرة الكبيرة عم طل الدنيا، واقفة بعز وبكرامة وناطرة هالعصافير حواليك يرجعوا، ع أغصانك، ع ورقك، ع ثمارك الكبيرة والكتيرة والطيبة مثلك. لوين بدنا نروح وانت كل المحبة عندك، النبع الفياض عندك، البساطة، التواضع، القلب الأبيض المفتوح عندك، الكنوز الدنيا عندك. جربنا كتير شواطئ غيرك ولكن ما لقينا أحسن منك يا كبيرة. إن شاء الله تضلي عطول كبيرة، مش بالعمر ولكن بهالصوت يلي سموك فيه ويلي لقبوك فيه. نرجع لعندك ومنقلك كل سنة وانت بألف خير وب100 خير، وينعاد عليكي 100 سنة و1000 سنة. ألو، صوت المحبة، عم تسمعيني؟ أنا أكيد ما حدا غيرك عم بيسمعني، لأني أنا عايشة بقلبك وانت عايشة معنا ومرافقتينا يا أحلى رفيقة. كل سنة وانت بخير، مبروك وينعاد عليك.
عقبال المليون يا صوت المحبة، يا صوت الإنجيل، يا نعمة من ربي، للسماء انت الدليل. ينعاد عليكي قليل، ينعاد عليكي قليل يا صوت المحبة.
This is actually awesome.
Test one.
ينعاد عليك 100 سنة و1000 سنة صوت المحبة. ما في أجمل من هالاسم صوت المحبة والمعنى الحقيقي اللي حاملته، والأحلى من هيك الرسالة يلي عم تعملها الإذاعة. أنا من قلبي بعيد مستمعي صوت المحبة وصوت المحبة والمؤسسين والقيمين وكل حدا عم بيشتغل، كل حدا عم بيتعب ويركض بيتبرع ويقدم من ذاته لهالإذاعة تضل ماشية. نتمنى لهم 1000 سنة من التألق والجمال والمحبة. معكم كريس موسى.
ست سنين أنا وياكي سوا، مع كل شروق شمس صوتي مع صوتك رفقة، و60 حكاية عدروبك، و20 سنة وانت بعدك الأحلى والأوفى. هيك التقينا وهيك رح نبقى رفقة، رفقة للمحبة يلي جمعتنا وبعدها عم تجمعنا. يا صوت المحبة ينعاد عليك 100 سنة، ومبروك عيدك 20. داليا العلم عندي.
للسماء انت الدليل، ينعاد عليكي قليل، ينعاد عليكي قليل يا صوت المحبة.
صوت المحبة بعيدك 20، وعقبال 30 وال40 وال50، لك كل السنين ذكريات معك حلوة كتير. معك حكينا ومعك غنينا ورتلنا وصلينا. المحبة نعمة وشمعة مضواي كل سنين، تنعاد عليك وع كل العاملين وسهرانين، ليوصلوا الرسالة والكلمة الحلوة الطيبة، كلمة ربنا يسوع المسيح لكل المستمعين. تنعاد عليكم كل سنة وانتو سالمين. اليان بولس.
يفتح
أنا الفنان التشكيلي فؤاد تميان المتواجد حاليا في أثينا اليونان. بحب شارك وهنئ برنامج المحبة المسيحي اللي صار عمره 20 سنة، فألف مبروك، وبتمنى أنه يستمر هالبرنامج واتمنى له النجاح الدائم، لأنه عم بيساهم بإلقاء الضوء على كثير من الكفاءات بجميع اتجاهاتها وطوائفها. فهنيئا لهالبرنامج، وأنا من أثينا بحييكم وبتمنى لكم النجاح والازدهار الدائم. تحياتي.
Yeah, only about 2 months officially in the committee.
That's really good, beautiful. Over to
Hi
you.
guys, I'm Grace. I'm the Vice Coordinator for St. Alpha, and this will be my 5th year on the committee, so it's been a wonderful journey.
Very nice.
Hey guys, Patrick, accountant co. I've been serving for 6 to 7 months.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. For those that just joined us in the studio before we introduced ourselves, so Sam's obviously been in the committee for 5.
It's coming on the 5th year.
Coming on the 5th year, and he's the vice coordinator, and I'm the coordinator at St. John the Beloved, and I'm coming on to the 7th year in serving. So praise God on this journey. So before we had, as Sam said, we had the other parishes join us, so thank you once again. We do have Facebook open. We are reading your comments. So if you would like to comment or just wish the Voice of Charity a happy birthday, we are reading your comments. If you would like to call up on the Voice of Charity, the phone lines are open. It's 96256111. Again, details are showing on the screen now. And for those who would like to make a donation, we are aiming to reach that goal. We only have a few hours left before we end tonight. So if you can help us bump that number up. We like round numbers, as Abuna Maroon used to say, Allah wajhul khair. We like that even finished number. So once again, the lines are open. I've been told there are comments on Facebook, so thank you to Rana. Bridget has commented a new one, so I might as well ask you guys the question and get straight into it. This time she's asking tabbouleh or fattoush.
We had this conversation today.
We did actually.
We had this conversation today.
Yeah.
It's
easy. Okay. Tell us your answer then.
Bit extra pomegranate as well.
Okay.
أنا الفنان التشكيلي فؤاد تميان المتواجد حاليا في أثينا اليونان. بحب شارك وهنئ برنامج المحبة المسيحي اللي صار عمره 20 سنة، فألف مبروك، وبتمنى أنه يستمر هالبرنامج واتمنى له النجاح الدائم، لأنه عم بيساهم بإلقاء الضوء على كثير من الكفاءات بجميع اتجاهاتها وطوائفها. فهنيئا لهالبرنامج، وأنا من أثينا بحييكم وبتمنى لكم النجاح والازدهار الدائم. تحياتي.
I think it depends on the meal. Like I think if we're eating taco chicken, it has to be taco.
Okay, but like tabbouleh
So, but if I'm eating fish, then I'm gonna have tabbouleh.
I'm getting you back up,
Bridget, firing us with these questions. Keep them going. Question us anything you want on the comments. We are responding. We're here to have a laugh. We're here to have, some time. If you want to call up and ask us something on air, definitely do that. So the lines are open. نوجه لها تحية لهناء منصور. Thank you for joining us. And Samah كمان, she votes for Fattoush. So somebody on the comments has voted for Fattoush. نوجه لكم تحية للكل. So it's a great way to get into it, isn't it? So straight up. No. We've upset someone.
We've created diversity within the first 2 minutes.
Oh, that's a good one. We might as well continue having a laugh. I asked everyone that was on in the first segment, I asked them if you could invite one person from the Bible to a youth event, whether it's a retreat, whether it's a hafle, anything. You let me know what event you're inviting them to, even if it's one-on-one with dinner with that person. Has to be from the Bible. Who would it be and why? Does anyone want to
Yeah.
kick us off? Yep.
Yeah. So Job. So we've got Coffee with the Saints. So it's like teaches us basically.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
one-on-one, not one-on-one, but like a group.
Mm.
So just to teach us patience because we are building our new church. So yeah, just be good. It's going slowly, so the patience will be good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
100%.
Beautiful.
Anyone else?
I think I'd like Solomon. He has so much wisdom, yet he still slightly fell from grace, and I think that would be interesting to be able to understand how you could be so wise yet still have the deficiency in your heart to sometimes walk away from God, and I think we could learn so much from that. So
Yeah, of course. Amen. Anyone else want to add to that? Or we good? Sam, do you have an answer?
So I think I would invite. Now I'm gonna look really stupid.
That's okay.
But who was it that freed the slaves from Egypt? Moses.
Moses.
Okay, so Moses. I would invite Moses because I would like to show Moses our youth, any youth hafli that we have here, purely because I want to show him that. How do I explain it? His efforts essentially led to this.
Yeah.
And that if he didn't free the slaves from Egypt, then we wouldn't have had what are they called? Someone help me out because I forgot what they're called.
We wouldn't have had the... Yeah, what are you trying to get?
There's a set of... There's a set of...
Commandments?
Yeah. No, it's not the commandments.
Yeah, good.
The moral of the story is, Moses, thank you very much.
Yes, okay.
And we'll see you at the next Rasa Dabki, please.
Oh, there you go, yes.
And that's
yes.
it from me.
Okay, you can tell it's been a long day here. They have been live on air since 8 a.m. and we are continuing right through to 11 p.m. Before I jump into another faith question, I've got another comment that we do have to answer. Is it Risa Jej or Jej Aruz?
Is that even a question?
It's been asked on the comments, so by someone behind the scenes, they're arguing who it is. First one,
yes.
Is that Jej?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't want to speak in fear of being singled out again, but definitely it is Jej.
Definitely it is Jej. That's I have to agree on that. And
okay.
And the comments are still flowing through now. It's agree or disagree. Does St. John the Beloved do the best upkeep?
Yes, this is actually a fact.
You know what? I'll agree.
Yeah?
Okay,
amazing.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. No comment. Okay.
Okay, all right, these comments are firing up at us. Feel free to keep commenting. If you want to call and have a chat with us on air, feel free to do so. The lines are open once again, and we are sitting at $13,330 at the moment. Let's try in this youth segment get it to $14,000. Do you agree, Sam?
Yeah, I think we can do more.
On that note, on behalf of St. John the Beloved Youth, we are going to donate $150. So if you can add that, let's just keep this streaming through and try get that number to 14,000. All right, now let's jump into some like scripture topics or youth stories, faith in daily life. Really, let's talk about an experience where your faith has helped you overcome a challenge, whether it be in your workplace, whether it be at the church itself, or at home even. So does anyone, have any answers to that, or how has your faith helped you overcome any challenge that you faced before?
I think I would go back. My gosh, when was my HSC? Like 5 years ago? 6? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just graduated uni. Someone else is math.
Okay.
Well, during my HSC, I kept praying and praying for God to guide me through it, and to just give me strength, give me clarity. Basically, like, give me the answers to the questions. Of course, he's not going to give me the answers, but you pray for that just to calm you down. And I asked him multiple times, give me a specific ATAR, and I will work towards that. I will meet you halfway. And I met him halfway, and I got the ATAR that I prayed for. And I think the lesson that I learned from that is always meet him halfway. You can pray for something and you can ask him for something, and you know, you can do all of this, but if you don't try your hardest outside of prayer, you won't get the outcome that you want. So that definitely brought me closer to my faith as well, because I was able to trust in him. And yeah, I guess just grow.
That's beautiful. Does anyone, you guys from St. Joseph's, have anything to say about, you know, overcoming anything, or have I thrown you under the bus here?
No, it's it's definitely a deep question.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's so many experiences that you can pull upon or pull from, but like I guess just trying to figure out what you want to do in life. Like very similarly, maybe not necessarily in university, but just wondering what you're going to do for the rest of your life. What are you going to commit your time and your efforts to? Being present with God and praying, and also knowing that whatever you do, it's a gift from Him, and whatever you do, it should glorify Him. You're put here for a reason. You have to make sure that it helps people. It kind of gives you a direction into what you want to do, what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I feel like if you don't have some guidelines, it can be very confusing. You know, it's like, what do I want to be? Like the opportunities and the possibilities are absolutely infinite. But when you think about the gifts that God has given you, and you know, a priest at our church always says, you're given these gifts for a reason. It's not to, you know, like the story of the talents, bury it in the ground and go look for something else and then just return it at the end of the day. Cherish it, nurture it, and if you're fortunate enough, and God willing, if you continue to pray for it and dedicate yourself, then that will be something that you can bring to other people's lives and commit yourself to that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, of course.
I think I can bounce off of that even. When I first started coming to church, it was very easy actually for me to differentiate church and my life. And then finding out through involving in my faith that shouldn't be the case. The church extends into your personal life. It's not, you know, when you're at church, you're doing Our Father and your Hail Mary. No, you know, it extends into your personal life. And for me, personally, I'm a workaholic. I love to work. I actually enjoy my job, and I love to work. And so finding out that that work is a form of prayer, actually really benefited me, because, you know, I don't know, I'm not in construction, but I'm a sales rep for a construction business, and essentially I do have to get up pretty early sometimes, or go and do things that I don't necessarily want to do. So being able to see work as a form of prayer definitely helps me get up in the morning, helps me sacrifice sort of, I wouldn't call it pain, but that what's the word I'm looking for? That inconvenience of having to go and do something I don't want to do, getting to offer that up as a prayer, and then just going about my day knowing that what I'm doing is being offered up, I think definitely helped me in my personal life, and helped me mesh the church and my life outside of church together. So I think you all bring up very valid points, and it's kind of all similar, actually.
Yeah, of course, and I'll actually bounce off that too. Like, I think serving in the committee has allowed me to grow this patience, especially like being the coordinator, being where people look up to me, people ask me questions, and being such a new youth, especially at St. John's, there's very new faces, people that, you know, just found their foots into the church in general. So having to have that patience as a leader, it really allows me to be patient in my job, very much like Sam. Like we said before, we share the same birthday. We went to school together ever since we were like 5 years old. I actually work a very similar job to him. I'm a sales rep in a construction business too. So we have too many similarities, me and Sam. So I think having that patience at church has allowed me to have that patience in life. Something so simple as road rage. Okay, everyone gets so angry, you know, on the roads, and we have this urge to just have a road rage when something happens. So I've grown this big patience, especially in the last 2 years. When any problem arises, I've learned to just stop, think before I act. And I think that's really, really like helps you grow just in your faith in general. It helps you grow a lot. even like working alongside the priests and the committee here, like Abuna Yusuf, we love him, and tonight he has a talk at St. Raymond's, but you know, we call him Abu Aj'a, and he's always in a rush, and he's like, I'm like, Abuna, you need to breathe, relax, patience, and then we'll act, and then we'll decide, making decisions. So yeah, it's just, it's a massive thing, like, to be able to overcome challenges. I think all grows on your faith. I think the virtues that we follow allow us to overcome challenges in general. So I think that's great from all of you. So thank you very much for sharing that. And I'll probably say like another question to you guys, if possible. How do you think, maybe you're parish-based or even eparchy-based, or even for those that know the MYDC, so the Maronite Youth Diocesan Council, how do you think the church can better support and engage youth, whether it's at your own parish level or from the eparchy as a whole? What would you like to see from them, especially from St. Joseph's? You guys are serving so new, so I think if you put yourselves into when you were in the youth before actually serving and taking on a leadership role, what would you like to maybe change or see changed, or you know, and get that support from the church level, whether it's your parish or your eparchy? So do you have an answer? What would you like to see improved maybe within your church or as a whole?
That's
really?
a big question.
Yeah, it is.
Look, to be completely honest, I think I could be speaking for myself, but St. Joseph's is doing and has done such an excellent job. Like, I feel as if I myself am somewhat new in consideration to other people back into the faith. I strayed away from God and to come back in, and I found a home at St. Joseph's pretty quickly, and it's actually quite difficult to pinpoint anything exactly to whereas there could be a drastic improvement. I'm sure if I sat there for long enough, I could find little nitpicky things. I could be like, oh, that could be better and that could be greater. But look, to be completely honest, from my own personal experience, it's been excellent. And even coming here for the first time and meeting everyone, it's such a warm and welcoming experience, and I think that's a testament more so to our faith in God and how He speaks through us and the ability to connect with each other. But you know, on the level of the church, I think everyone's doing the best they can with what they can and just trying to build us up together. But maybe Raf has something that I haven't necessarily thought of, but I think it's been quite great, to be honest.
Look, I gotta agree with Nick, like, for sure. We've always got stuff going on at St. Joey's. Like, I think we're very blessed. And just the fact that we have so many people on the committee shows like the youth is getting extremely engaged. But I mean, like, if I'm looking at it from like an outsider's perspective, I don't know, like, how do you engage people in the youth in the first place? Like, it's a little bit hard, like, if they're not willing, if they're not taking that first step by themselves. I guess, like, if you're looking at it like that, then things that might appeal to like a larger, a broader audience might be like more things on social media which might relate to the youth. More segments like this. I think the radio show is amazing and it's great. And I'm not 100% sure what the audience viewership is like. I don't know if it's the older Lebanese generation or the younger Australian boys and girls. But like, this by itself is amazing. Maybe doing like events where we coincide with other churches, like, you know, we'd get St. Raymond's and St. Joey's and Our Lady and St. John the Beloved, like, all together to do events like that. And I know it's extremely difficult, but it could encourage people to get involved and see like, oh, look, there's like something big happening. Like, I instead of being like, oh, St. Joey's is doing another thing this week. Like, St. Joey's does something everywhere. Like, you know, so yeah, it could be something that is a little bit bigger and reaches out to a few more people.
A good collaboration,
exactly.
every parish. What about St. Raphael? Do you find anything that, you know, maybe you can get from the church for better support, or is there anything you see that you need or can be improved, whether once again it's on your parish level or whether it's from the whole eparchy? Like, do you think there's something the eparchy can do to improve the youth as a whole in every parish? Is there something you find missing, that empty gap? Or
I don't think we've got anything missing in a sense, because every parish does its own little thing to try and attract new youth. I know with St. Alpha, we always have new events coming up, like random events that draw, you know, different types of people, and then you come to one event and all of a sudden you fall in love with the people, and once you fall in love with the people, you fall in love with the church. So I think everyone's experience is a bit different, so you can't really pinpoint and say like the eparchy needs to do this or parish needs to do this in a sense. But I do think that podcasts are a good idea, and like Maronite Down Under, shout out to Paul, that's amazing. That podcast is really just great. It brings a lot of insight into the faith to a lot of people. I know personally that I actually have friends that have gotten into the faith because of that podcast. So it's beautiful. I think more things like that coming up and about is just a great way to bring people back into
We've
the faith.
always said, well, the way I've always seen it is, especially after being in the community for the time I have, that I feel like the social events is more of the fishing rod, or you could call it the bait, to getting those people to come to the church. The ultimate goal, though, we cannot forget, is to get them to have a close relationship with God. So getting that bait and casting that rod, getting them to come to the church, albeit it is a social event. Like you said, once you meet the people, then you fall in love with the church. I feel that's the way we tackle sort of the aspect of people coming and then evolving to learn God. So yeah, that's just the way we've always seen it here at St. John. Grabbing people through the social events and then ultimately making sure, like I know I've done it and Rochelle has too, we individually message people like, I saw you here, I'd love to see you here. And just like when we see new people, we've said it in our committee meetings, we make sure that our committee understands if you see a new person, approach them, you know. Say hi, welcome, my name is 1, 2, 3, what do you do? And then say at the end, just be like, I'd like to see you next Sunday. You know, and there's baby steps I feel like ultimately lead people to coming back to the church.
100%, and that's the goal, and that's how we work here at St. John's. Everyone can have their own, I guess you can call it a technique, but that's how we grab people. It's through the social events where we get them to start baby stepping into the spiritual life, and then the ultimate goal is on earth really with everyone around you. The ultimate goal is to get each other to heaven. So us sitting here right next to each other, our goal should be to get each other to heaven. I won't take too much longer because I know there is a show that is ready to go after us. So I will just touch on, you know, maybe your events. Give me 1 or 2 events that you have coming up at St. Joseph's that you would like to let everyone know about, invite them to attend. So do you have any events coming up?
There's a big one.
Okay. Tell us what it is.
It's on the 30th of November. It's the Christmas festival. It's in Bellwood Park. St. Joe's is doing stalls and games and face painting and a bunch of stuff. And that's going to be awesome. That's coming up very quickly. So yeah, if you want to get involved for that, that's the first one. The Christmas calendars.
That's family friendly, so it's for everyone, all ages.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. There you go. So Bellwood Park on the 30th of November. St. Joseph's have a big Christmas festival, and hopefully everyone can show their support. What about St. Alpha? Any key events coming up, Paul?
Yes, we do. If you guys would like to come out to the west, stamp your passports. But we do have our Christmas carols on the 13th. That's going to be a wonderful night. It's going to have food trucks, so lots of food, lots of desserts.
Acai.
Yeah, acai. So if you guys like your acai with Nutella, come on down. And yeah, that's our main one. We also have our men's night. So fellas, if you would like to join, we have that next Friday. So keep an eye out on our socials, and yeah, we'd love to see you all there.
Beautiful. That's good. We have another segment coming up for St. John's Youth, so we'll be back on closer to that 10 p.m. mark, and we'll go through all of our events then. Sorry, we've taken up your time. We're running a little bit behind, so thank you so much for your time in the studio today. Once again, the numbers are showing up on the screen. Don't go anywhere. There is a show with George and Salwa. The number to dial in is 96256111. The beautiful youth are behind the scenes. There is probably another 10 people behind the scenes, so they are all ready to answer your calls. So if you would like to call up, make a donation, or simply wish the Voice of Charity a happy birthday, 20 years. So it's a big, you know, it's a big number, and we're proud that we've gotten here. And as we touched on earlier, and I do want to make this, you know, very, very clear, the Voice of Charity is not only for St. John the Beloved. Abuna Modis once told me this: you guys have the best tool here, and we aren't using it. We have this studio where we can preach or do podcasts, and God bless Paul, he's come a long way, and Maronite Down Under is reaching a lot of people. And as Grace said, people have, you know, come closer to their faith because of that podcast. But this studio is for everyone. So if anyone wants to use this studio from other parishes, you're welcome. We can create a show. My goal, and Sam has to hold me accountable for this now, is I want to do something for the youth next year. Make it consistent, whether it's once a month or once a fortnight. Invite parishes to come in, and that's it. Someone has to hold me accountable for that. So we have to make that happen for next year. We have the best tool in Australia, and we need to make more use of it as a youth to
100%.
get everyone in. So once again, thank you for your time. We did hit that $14,000 mark. As I said, by the end of the youth segment, I have to hit that. So God bless you all, and the donations are open. Donation account details are showing up on the screen. So please, if you can make a donation, we appreciate it. As they say, every cent counts, and it helps this baby that was a teenager is now hit its 20s. Let it keep going. We want to keep growing. So God bless you all, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. To you. Happy birthday 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 to you.
أحبائي، لكن كنا مع شبيبة مار يوحنا الحبيب بهالفقرة. أكيد هلأ دقايق قليلة ورح منكون مع برامج الإنجليزي مع جورج منسى، سلوى الياس وجو ويكم. أحبائي، بدي أذكركم إنه بعد التبرعات مفتوحة لحد هلأ. نحن وصلنا للعدد 15,305. بدي أشكر كل الأشخاص يلي عم تتبرع حتى بفلس الأرملة. التبرعات رح تستمر من هلأ ل4 أسابيع أكيد، وفيكن تتواصلوا معنا. وكمان الأشخاص يلي بتحب إنه تعمل دفعة شهرية فيكن تتصلوا فينا ونحن منقلكن كيف. بدي أشكر السبونسرز لليوم يلي ساعدوا لهاليوم ليصير مثل ما انتو عم بتشوفوا. أكيدا اللي حضر قبل شوي في عنا كان شوية زينة و برا. أكيد بدي أشكر كريستاليك كرييشنز. أكيد بتقدروا تتصلوا بكريستاليك كرييشن على 0434468213. لكن كريستاليك كرييشن 0434468213. كمان بدنا نشكر CG Events and Florals كريستوفر سيبا. وبتقدروا تتصلوا وتحكوا مع كريس على 0424866682 لكل مناسباتكم. كمان بدنا نشكر GBM Photography يلي كان هو مقدم معدات التصوير للنقل الخارجي لليوم، يلي أكيد شاف إنه كنا نحن الساعة 10:30 بنقل مباشر من عند سعيد وماري رزق، وقدم كل عدة التصوير لنقدر نطلع ببث مقبول. أكيد بتقدروا تتصلوا بجي بي ام فوتوغرافي على 0402770278. كمان جورج بيلدينج سبلاي ولاين هارت مايجريشن، جونز كواليتي ميت، اولد تايم بيكري.
وحقضي للمية بعينين الرب، بعينين الرب.
جورج بيلدينج سبلاي كمان سبونسر لصوت المحبة. بتقدروا تتصلوا بجورج على 0404-877-747. كمان لاين هارت مايجريشن كمان لكل طلبات المايجريشن بتقدروا تتصلوا بفادي كتب وتاخدوا معلومات أكتر لكل طلبات الهجرة، وأكيد عن كل شغلة انتو بحاجة لإلها لكل أحبة انتو طالبين تعملوا وراءهم. بتتصلوا على 0292990112. So Lionheart Migration specializes in migration, education and coaching advice and services. The team can assist with your visa, citizenship and education inquiries and applications, and with your migration tribunal and court matters. كمان عنا جونز كواليتي ميت. تقدروا تتصلوا بجون على 0296317216 بمحلاتهم على شوب 88 فيكتوريا رود باراماتا أو شوب 530 ماريلاندز رود ماريلاندز. All Time Bakery كمان لكل ملزمات الأكل والخبز عند All Time Bakery بتقدروا تلاقوا، وحتى الجلوتين فري عندهم All Time Bakery gluten free على 9708-4442. Specializing in gluten-free wraps and pizza bases. أكيد بدنا نتشكر كل sponsors القدم كمان يلي كانوا اسم الله كتار من إلكن. الرب يحميكن دايما. كان عنا الفلكسينيون، Ladies Boutique, Superior Development, Royal Diamonds, Ad Creators, Shadow Mowing Service, Unis & Co, MTD, IPTV, Bob the Butcher, Insight Plastering, Tony Bazone, Buy Right, A Plus Realty, J&S Property Cleaning, LJ Hooker, Ray White, Malgawa Garden Center, Right at Home, Fashion Fame, Smithfield White Goods, Top Line Formwork, Complete Balance Chiropractic, The Lamppost Restaurant، وأكيد Choice Building Constructions. نتشكر كل شخص عم بيدعم بفلس الأرملة. أحبائي لحظات قليلة، مش لحظات، رح هلأ منكون مع الانجليش شوز جورج منسى، جوزيف وكيم وسلوى الياس. وبذكركن على الساعة 10 رح منكون مع أبونا مارون من لبنان، أبونا مارون موسى، وكمان أبونا حنون إندراوس من فرنسا.
من جدو كمان رفقاتي حملولي هدايا عيدين، وبكرة أنا بعيد بحملن هدية وبقلن بدوري مثل ما قالولي. عقبال الميت سنة، 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 عقبال الميت سنة. عيدي اليوم عيدي عمري بأوله، بكرة جديدي عمري الحلو. ما بتذكر لما خلق مثل هالنهار، لكن عيد اليوم هون هالفرحة تذكار. عم تكبر أيامي شموع ملونة، وكل ما اطفي شمعة عم بكبر سني، وكل اللي حوالي يغنوا ويقولولي. عقبال الميت سنة، 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 عقبال الميت
لكن هلأ رح منكون مع القسم الإنجليزي بصوت المحبة The Catholic Toolbox. كاست شو الاسم الجديد يا جوزيف؟ كاستنت وكمان سلوى الياس كيفو يو سول. أكيد هالبرنامج هالبرامج يلي عم تسمعوها 2 3 و4 مساء الساعة 8 ليلا.
Happy birthday Voice of Charity، عقبال المليون سنة بعيون الرب.
Happy birthday to you.
بدنا نشكر الأستاذ فؤاد حريقة على الجينجل الجديد يلي قدمه لصوت المحبة بعنوان ضوي بعتمة هالدنيا.
بعتمة هديني نور المسيح مصوني، وخلي شعاع الحق ينفض للقلوب. قوة إيماني مقدسي باسم المسيح مكرسي، نور السماء يضوي عكل الدروب. صوت المحبة حامل سلام، صوت التآخي والوئام. حملي صوت المحبة لكل الناس، صوت المحبة حامل سلام، صوت التآخي والوئام. وازرعي بالأرض حب وماله
بدنا نشكر مجددا الأستاذ فؤاد حريقة على الجينجل الجديد يلي قدمه لصوت المحبة بعنوان ضوي بعتمة هالدنيا. أما هلأ رح منكون مباشرة مع القسم الإنجليزي جورج جو وسلوى. الله معكم.
الله معكم.
Good evening, Vera.
Good evening.
And good evening, George and Joe.
Welcome to the Voice of Charity.
Welcome again.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for you coming in. I
Well,
know you came on Monday and you came today, and George came yesterday and came today. Joseph, we apologize your show didn't go on tonight.
That's okay.
But here you go.
Vera, it's a great privilege because I actually know their voices and
but
never
you
met
don't.
and never seen their faces. So we just said a little prayer together. We're really excited to actually share our acquaintance live on camera and on microphone.
Yes.
And with the short time we've got together, obviously we're really excited and hoping that the listeners will share that excitement by pushing this campaign forward, donating from their heart, and really making sure that this very unique program continues to be on the air in our hearts.
I can't believe it's 20 years. I feel like I've been on it for 20 years.
20 years.
I think I've been on the Voice of Charity for about 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
From the beginning.
You're a veteran.
Yeah, I know.
You are a veteran. You remember the old days, yeah?
Yes, I do. You have to rub that in, don't you? The old
No.
days.
I actually have a bit of an issue with the issue of age, and it's really interesting because I was just saying to Father before, one of the challenges I had is when I was really young in Australia, they'd always say the English Mass for the youth.
Yeah.
And I'd go to that.
Yes.
But then, now that I've become a father and a grandfather, when I hear people say the English Mass for the youth, I think I'm like
not welcome.
Cast away somewhere. Like, where do I belong?
Yeah.
If I go to the Arabic, I'm like running to catch up with trying to understand every word. And was that Arabic? Was that Aramaic? And whatever. And then when I go to the English Mass, they're talking about dating and be careful about drugs. And I'm thinking, nah, I can't relate to that either.
Yes, yes. It's a Maronite problem.
Good one.
But that's why the Voice of Charity is good, because it's multilingual, isn't it?
Yes.
It speaks to everyone and of every age. Like I know Father John was saying earlier, it helps the elderly and those that are bedridden. And I noticed that a lot of the families that I visit, just parents of friends of my children, I was surprised that they used to have the Voice of Charity radio running. This is before the cameras came on.
Yeah.
In
Like
the
I was back
kitchen,
in-
the mum
always
is
in the
playing
kitchen,
it.
yes.
Every Lebanese mother has a Voice of Charity radio
Yeah, the
sticking in the kitchen.
transistors. Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
George, you're going to laugh if I tell you this, right? But it's not just the mothers.
Yeah.
So I'm actually that person
With
now.
the tranny.
And I tell you,
radio.
my kids laugh when I tell them, because often I have the music going while I'm cooking, and instead of saying I've marinated the meat,
What do
I
you
say
say?
I've marinated the meat.
Yeah,
The voice of Mahabbi has just infused all the meat. It's just been soaking in it all
amazing.
day.
That's
But
amazing.
it's so good because, like, you know, it's hands off, it's constant.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we were talking off air before about, you know, the need for hope. And there are a lot of radio stations out there that actually try and give people a sense of hope, but they're constantly bombarding you with bad news about who hates who and who hurts who.
Yeah.
This is one station, I think, that can guarantee you that it's going to be 24/7 hope. It's going to be uplifting. It's going to be spirit-filled.
Yeah.
You can rest assured.
So that love can have a voice.
Exactly. Exactly.
And love has a voice on the Voice of Charity.
Exactly. And I think what's important is that we have to hearken back to the end goal of the Catholic faith, that is to save souls.
Yes.
We need to save souls. Everybody's called to be a saint. Everybody's called to find holiness in the midst of their ordinary circumstances. And especially the Second Vatican Council called for this, for laity to rise up and laity to find hope in the world. And there is no other, and I say this every year, there's no other radio station, Catholic radio station with a bandwidth in Australia apart from Voice of Charity. Voice of Charity is Australia's only Catholic radio network.
Yeah.
We can say that. We have Radio Maria in Melbourne, and several shows air on Radio Maria Melbourne, but they only online. They're a digital radio. We're the only bandwidth radio that somebody can tune in from their car with an actual radio and listen into.
That's why we need our listeners to help raise funds in this radiothon.
Absolutely.
To help the Voice of Charity to continue raising funds, to continue thriving, to continue putting on these wonderful episodes of formation. I mean, that's where the people that are at home are getting their catechetical information from, right? They're not going out to courses, they're not going to seminars, they're getting it from the radio. And we need to keep this going. I know from the different programs that I've been on here on the Voice of Charity, it's always about teaching the faith, right? And that's what I know George does with the Catholic Toolbox, what Perusia does, what I do.
Giving you the practical tools.
That's right.
To take action.
You too, Joe. It would be great to hear from some of our own listeners. I'd love to have them call in and share their thoughts and how much the Voice of Charity has helped them in their faith journey. Because we get the comments, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
After our programs.
Maybe I was thinking we share some feedback that some of our listeners actually have given us. I get emails all the time, and it's funny. Somebody came back to confession after 13 years of listening to one of my guests on the show. Praise be to God. It's things like this, and I got an email from LA. Somebody who I took a 3-week break. There was a gap between the podcasts, and they were asking, I miss listening to your informative information, and I'm wondering when you'll be returning to your show.
Aww,
that was just...
They missed you.
Yeah, exactly. That was, I think, 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
From the other side of the world.
Other side of the world.
Yeah, because the Voice of Charity is everywhere.
It's international.
It's on social media, and it's international, global.
It's international.
And we really need your support. If you're listening, call now. There should be someone on the phone.
There are people around Sydney I meet and I come across when I go to different church circles, and they actually listen from their car to the 1701 AM.
That's what I do. I've got an old car.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah, my generation will still listen to the radio in the car, and it has the 1701 AM.
The radio generation is still alive, and I think it's probably more alive than newspapers and maybe television. But George, I wondered, with the advent of so many podcasts, do you find that among your peers that people are still listening to radio, or they listen to the podcasts that were once originally broadcast on radio?
What I find is people would listen to radio when it's convenient to them. I think it's all about convenience today, including myself. If I put myself in a millennial's position or my generation's position, they will listen to the radio that's convenient, that's in the car, that's at the right time, if they're driving to work or if they're driving back or if they're at home. Like you said, you play radio when you're at home. When I had a reversion back to the Catholic faith in 2009, I would play Catholic answers when I was at home in the evening. But then people want convenience. So I really think a podcast presence is important, because people want to go back and listen to episodes when it's suitable to them.
It doesn't have to be live.
It doesn't have to be live. So that's where I think it's really, really handy to have a podcast episode of anything that does go live as well.
That's great. So it's launched
so people
here,
can re-listen.
But then there are, ripple effects. I think when I've heard you on radio before, George, in your program, I get a sense at times that you and your guests are aware that, at least in this country, our faith is under attack.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we need practical tools rather than just to get defensive. Isn't that all the more reason why VOC needs to be supported? Isn't this when we're often at our best? I mean, the whole history of Christianity, we've often been at our best when we were at our worst, when we were on our knees.
The greatest need.
When we were in cahoots with government,
persecution,
that was probably when we weren't at our best.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right.
It's kept us humble and it's purified us. There's something about when you're persecuted, I think.
Yeah, it's a shame. You can't get any lower. That's why.
You hold on to your faith more. You don't take it for granted.
Yeah, it brings us to our knees, literally. As you said, brings us to our knees. And where do we turn to when we're on our knees? We turn to prayer.
So Voice of Charity's goal is to save souls. We're here to save souls. There can't be anything in this life, there's nothing more important than to save souls, to bring people to heaven, to bring people to the truth, whether they listen to one of our episodes, any show that they want. And different people have different tastes. They may not find the Catholic Toolbox suits them. They might listen to both your shows. there's something for everybody on Voice of Charity. Sometimes it's the American content sometimes that's played on Voice of Charity, or Father John Flader's meditations at 4:30 p.m. on every single Wednesday. Check it out, Father John Flader. All these things, you don't know where somebody's at in their spiritual life, and they turn on the radio, they listen, they hear something, and it sparks a journey
Well,
that
that's
leads
how I
them.
started. With the
Really?
cassette. With the cassette.
The cassette.
Of Scott Hahn. Because I was working with St. Joseph's Communications back in the day.
Wow.
Before they had CDs.
Yeah.
And I used to put the cassette in the car and listen to Scott Hahn, and I became hungry to learn more about the faith. And that's when I met Sharbil Raish, and I started working with him, and Lumen Verum Apologetics, Robert Haddad. I became part of the core group of Lumen Verum, and so I started learning and teaching. And it all began with listening to one person on a cassette, and now they play that on the Voice of Charity, those podcasts that we used to listen to. Perusia shares them all the time. The American speakers like Scott Hahn, Tim Staples, Deacon Harold, all of them. They're the ones that formed me, and I know they will form everyone, and they're on the Voice of Charity. It's not just for Maronites. It's not a Maronite only radio station.
It's Australia's Catholic radio network.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think sometimes people think
everyone.
it's just a Maronite thing.
No.
But even, look, many great things brought to the Australian Church by the Maronites, and that's something Maronites can be proud of.
No,
but
of course.
there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Whether, especially the Arabic speakers, and there's so many
it's not restricted.
people listening. It's not restricted.
No, not restricted at all.
It's interesting you're talking about, a little spark. I remember it was pretty embarrassing. It must have been at least 15 years ago. It was round about Easter. I was standing just outside Our Lady of Lebanon Church in Harris Park. Could have actually been you. But someone came up to me with a CD or a cassette about Bishop Fulton Sheen.
Wow.
And I was embarrassed because I'd never heard of him. And it was all about, why are you laughing?
Because it could have been me.
It could have been you, right? And she shoved it in my face, and I played it over and over again because it was actually quite riveting.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of this guy, and I'm thinking, have I been living under a rock? And then I started to become more curious, like, who is this guy?
Curiosity got you, yes.
And he was talking about Good Friday and Easter and all this thing about, like, he was born in a borrowed place and he was buried in a borrowed place. And he talked about 2 civil courts and 2 religious courts. Like, just the way he was rattling off these facts, I just thought, I need to be more enlightened about this guy. So
that's your spark.
Hungry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Once you get that seed planted, that I want to know more. Where is this going? Like, we thought we knew it. We grew up in a Catholic family, going to church and Catholic schools, but we didn't have the formation materials that we've got now. The resources.
Catechetical formation,
the resources,
I think, has been lacking on every single level. And for me, it was that one CD of Tim Staples in 2009 that sparked it, and then I found out, St. Joseph's Communication,
exactly.
Perusia Media. Big shout out to Perusia Media and Sharbil Raish.
Well, he was supposed to join me tonight, but I'm representing. It's okay.
And you could say it leads you, and it's because of that seed, it's because of that content that was digitally created, it saves your soul.
Absolutely.
If we get to heaven, it's because of this content.
Yeah.
We need to have a short break because we're just being given the shout out from behind the glass screen over there by John. We'll be back in a moment, we hope.
المحبة يا كل المنى خليكي بقلبي باليا حبي أنا يا حبي أنا صوتك عقلبي مريح يا صوت الحب الصريح صوتك عقلبي مريح يا صوت الحب الصريح صوتك يا صوت المسيح بحقول الجنة بحقول الجنة
Okay, we're back with you guys. Before you leave, we have to close the 20,000. Now we're on 16,305.
So call in, please. All our wonderful listeners, all our beautiful
You're in jail
friends.
until we close the 20,000.
Please call in.
Let's read the BSB
Somebody have
number.
to pay. Some have to pay you bail.
Can they just call in and donate, or you'd rather they just transferred?
Well, transfer and let us know, or
Yes,
call in
please.
and let us know.
So have a look at your screen.
So BSB, listen up closely, is 942210. BSB is 942210. Account number, if you're live on Facebook, you also see, is, and account number is 1161702. It is 1161702. Now I'm going to make my donation here live on air while the two of you talk.
Oh, bravo! Talk about practicing what you preach.
Here at the Catholic Toolbox, it's about taking action, so I'm taking a little bit of action.
Yeah.
Give us the tools, George.
First practical tool, donate to the Voice of Charity.
It's in your
You
hand.
know, actually, we've got a new way how you can donate with 2 steps only. 2 buttons you have to press. It's a square, so the link you can find it on Facebook. Any video
That's
that
right,
you
yeah.
can see, it's got the link there. You just press on that link, put your amount of donation and your name,
And it's done.
and send. That's it.
So go to Facebook page for Voice of Charity and look up the message for the donations and click on the link.
Yes,
And help us to keep Voice of Charity running.
Correct.
For another 20 years.
Another 20.
I'll be
No,
too
no,
old.
no.
Sorry, I won't be here.
Me too. I won't be here. I probably will be dead
But
then.
we will all be needing Salt al-Mahabbi
Yes.
to listen to.
Yes.
We have it on in the background 24/7.
Yes.
Even if we're not here, somebody will continue this mission.
We hope so.
Yes.
With God's help, yes.
True. So the BSB is 942210. Account number is 1161702. Or another one, the same BSB, 942210. Account number 965699. So this is the way, or either you can go on Facebook or you can call us and we'll send you a text. It's easy. And also they can do monthly donations. So
Monthly
with that
pledges.
with that link, they either can do one-off or monthly, and that will be headache free.
Praise God for everyone who's already donated. I mean, we're up to past the 16,000 mark. That's wonderful. Let's get to 20.
Otherwise, if no one's going to pay you bail, no one's going home.
Well, look what Mother Angelica did with EWTN, my greatest example of all. Mother Angelica. She had no money. She had nothing. But she asked everyone listening, between your electricity bill, your water bill, your supermarket bill, put something in for EWTN to build us up. Now, we're going to ask the same thing tonight. Put a little aside for the Voice of Charity. In between your gas bills, your electricity bills, your petrol, put aside just a small amount every month, because it does add up and it helps the Voice of Charity to keep going. And of course, if you can do a lot more, God bless you, please don't hesitate. get on board now. And thanks to everyone who's already donated. God bless you all.
They already started to donate.
That's
on the
good.
link.
Look, I love Mother Angelica. I actually also
Yes.
discovered her
God
a
rest her
little
soul.
while ago, and just the humour. I don't know why she reminds me of the character Kathy Nejmi in Sister Act. Just that really lovely, cuddly, warm Mediterranean spirit.
But strong woman.
It's
Yeah.
very strong woman.
She was.
I love that. Now, for anyone who is driving, obviously we don't want you to touch your phone, but please, if you can, pull over and, as Salwa just said, just a small pledge, like this is going on as you are driving around. Let it continue to go on. One of the things that sort of scared me as I was driving here, I suppose, is what would happen if this did not exist? What would Australia and the airwaves be like if this did not exist?
Yeah.
And there's just nothing like it, is there, on the airwaves?
Honestly, I look forward to turning my car on because it's already there, 1701. I have an old car.
No headache, no headaches.
It's on the radio. And I hear the rosary and I think, yes, that's right. I need to pray rosary now. So I'll start praying for my children or for some intention. The Voice of Charity reminds me to pray. It also reminds me to listen to what the scripture of the day is saying. It's like being in church in adoration, but on the road. Because I'm hearing scripture, I'm praying the rosary, I'm listening to the Mass. They have the Mass on there, they have the morning prayers, the evening prayers. They have everything there while you're on the road. You know, if you're in events management like I am a lot of the time, you're always on the road. It's hard to just stop. Of course, you should make time for prayer. I always say that. Pray while you work, but never work while you pray. But the Voice of Charity fills that gap. For those who don't make that time to pray, the Voice of Charity wakes us up and reminds us it's time to pray. It's really important.
I think it's very important. And when we listen to all the people that have been touched by Voice of Charity, by whatever program that they've listened to on the Voice of Charity, or any of the other programs or Arabic programs, how has their spiritual life grown from engaging with the Voice of Charity, listening to any of the programs? So many people have grown in their faith, have come to Christ through this radio. Yeah. Those are souls. We have to think about it from the ground up. You know, the very foundation of the faith and everything we do is to save souls, to help us to grow in holiness. And by you listening to the Rosary live on air, it's helping you grow in your spiritual life and having a resource there.
Yeah, because I know it's
and
live.
It all builds up.
Yeah, I know Olga is sitting here with Dahlia and with Vera and Jessie and all the girls, and I feel like I'm with them, praying with them. It's beautiful. And of course, it's not just in the car. You know, it's on our phones now. There's the app, the Voice of Charity app. There's iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube.
17:01 a.m. YouTube. But what does it take to run this radio? It's a massive operation, and a big shout out to all the audio engineers behind the scenes, like Vera and John, and
Jessie
and Jessie and Dahlia and Abir and every single one of you.
Yeah, yeah.
It is an absolutely massive operation to run. Yeah. It runs on the hard work of so many people behind the scenes
and the work
to bring
of
the
Voice
gospel
of
to the
Charity
air.
Is evangelizing. It's a priority, isn't it? There's not enough teaching in our Catholic schools to keep our children in the faith. In fact, the Catholic schools are helping us to lose our children's faith.
Yeah.
I remember when my children were at school, they used to actually correct their teacher who prayed the rosary in the wrong way or who taught something that wasn't Catholic.
Yes.
Oh, sorry,
of course
my
it
bad.
was Salwa's child.
My bad. Sorry, not sorry. But we need resources that will actually teach our younger generation. Like we just had the youth here of all the parishes of the eparchy. That was amazing. I have to say a big shout out to our Maronite youth. I'm so proud of you, and we got to meet a lot of them as they were leaving. What made me laugh is that almost every one of them said that their journey began when they were dragged into church. Literally dragged into church, and that's when their life changed. And they were sharing their story of how they grew in their faith. And from that seed, they began to volunteer their services in the church and be a part of the universal church, the Catholic Church. And the Voice of Charity plays a big part in that because it's brought all of these youth together tonight for this radiothon. Why would they do that? I'm sure they've got something better to do on a Wednesday night than to sit in a studio and talk about evangelizing.
What I just wanted to add was I have several Jewish friends, and I absolutely love my Jewish friends, and I just admire something about them and the way that they do business and the way they support other businesses is absolutely remarkable. They have money concepts that are absolutely amazing, and I'd love to see this sort of concept more within the church, where we prioritize, you know, above maybe spending on another coffee or spending on another.
We should give tithings.
We should give tithings.
So this is like a tithing
Yeah.
to the Voice of Charity. It's part of the church, being here at St. John the Beloved, beautiful parish. So it's on the premises here, but we do need the support of our listeners to keep going. I can't imagine not having the Voice of Charity around. Honestly, I'm saying that from my heart. I can't imagine not being able to listen to the Voice of Charity.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on to the TV network and the computer and watch EWTN, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
I don't get to hear my people speaking. Right?
Australians. We need to hear Australians.
Yeah, our people are on the radio sharing their stories, talking about current events, praying together, giving, I guess, sharing our experiences. I mean, with me, being involved in EWTN and Parousia Media and the eparchy, you know, I get a view of the whole picture, and I can share those experiences with our listeners. And I have to be honest, there have been several times when I've thought, I'm tired, I'm getting old, and I don't think I can do this anymore. And then out of nowhere, I'll get a text from someone saying, I really needed to hear that last night, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
At a
Thanks,
time they may have been struggling, might
So
be
true.
a tough time in their life, and it just is what they needed
Just
to
hit the
hear.
spot, yes.
Maybe any of our programs is something they needed to hear, or some angle that, or something that a guest said.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the radio can't run for it's not free
No.
to run these things.
Unfortunately, no.
And we do need to all share some responsibility for looking after the radio
Keep it going,
station.
yeah.
If it's going to look after us, we have to look after it.
We do have to look after it. And it's interesting, both of you are talking about times when you share something on your program and someone says, wow, that was perfect timing.
Yeah.
And that's probably how the three of us have all started our journey. You know, someone
Exactly.
did that to us. It was probably, look, we're nearly at 17,000 folks.
Oh,
So everything you're saying, George, about just reminding people about that this is not completely free. People are making an effort, and it's not just the money, it's what it symbolizes. It's encouragement. I don't know about you two, but I've spent a lot of time working in mainstream media like ABC and SBS, etc. And it just struck me as you two were speaking about how careful I've had to be for probably 30 years when talking about my faith. So we sort of hide it and couch it with words like morality and justice and hypocrisy. But what you really want to say is what you're saying here. So this is one of the few places that's home where you are free to be uninhibited and saying, this is the truth. This is what I believe, and not have to sort of sugarcoat it or hide it in this politically correct language that we're now surrounded by.
So true.
This is unique.
That's a good point, Joe. I didn't even think of that because I'm not in mainstream media.
Try
I'm in Catholic
saying this.
media.
Try saying this in mainstream
You
media.
can't.
Oh, we
No, you
won't.
can't.
Try.
It'll get censored.
We want to be here on mainstream
Yeah,
media.
it'll get
You're absolutely
censored.
right.
It's
There's
such
free
a-
speech here on Voice of Charity.
It's so true. You have
We don't get
freedom of
censored.
speech. Yeah.
Oh, well, look, we
That's
have
so
to always
true.
behave ourselves and be
Yeah,
prudent.
of course, because we're charitable. We
We're
have to
being
be
charitable,
charitable.
of course.
But yeah, you're right. Like, and you survived mainstream media. You're here
Um,
to tell the story.
Yeah, I think I'm here. Pinch me. Look, one word that I think we spoke about outside, and it's interesting. I heard somewhere there's going to be a minister for loneliness. There's already one in Japan. There's one, I think, in the UK, and Australia is thinking having, would you believe, a minister for loneliness, because it is such an epidemic. And I just find that such an interesting concept. Like, on one hand, it's
That's
so it's so sad and tragic, but on the other hand, it's so revealing of the spiritual poverty, that what happens when you turn your back onto the altar that we originally used to worship and look for new altars, the altar of money, the altar of political correctness, the altar of some celebrity. We're going to these other vain, shallow, hollow altars, and you know, we find that they're just not delivering. And so this thing about loneliness, I think a few of you talked about it before, and I heard people talking about lonely people at home, love Voice of Charity. Well, it's not necessarily that they're lonely, they're just alone. And sometimes I think that there's a difference between lonely and alone. I could be by myself, but have Christ in my life and feel very fulfilled. Or I could be in a room full of people
and feel so alone.
Yes, you've been there.
Yeah.
Yes, been there a lot. That's why I really dread the camera. And where did God put me in front of the camera?
Oh, dear.
And in media and interviews. Yeah. Whereas sometimes I just want to sit and just take it all in quietly. That's a really good point you brought up there, Joe. I really appreciate that. It's true.
Minister for loneliness, wow.
Like, what are we doing? Thought? Well, see, you've just made that, brought out that awareness. The people, our listeners now have been given that information that they weren't aware of. If you're listening and you know someone who is alone or lonely and doesn't have anyone to look after them, not just in the aged care homes, but just in their own home, in a unit, there are so many elderly people living on their own that have no family around them. They probably need company, but they're so used to being alone, they don't even know that they're lonely. But that's sad.
Yeah.
How do we fix that?
I love storytelling, and I remember once there was this weird notion. You know, sometimes you've got these radio programs where it's the same old people calling in, marhaba, kifkun, and they're talking, and you think, oh, it's this person again. Come on, it's the same person again, get a life. But here's the story. What happens when that person stops calling? And the listeners suddenly realise, like, is she okay? Should someone check on her? Do we know where she lives?
Good point.
Yeah.
And, you know, like we just take it for granted, oh, these people got nothing better to do. But maybe Sultan Mahabbi is their solace, their companion. I sometimes have it on because my kids have all got married and moved on. So what Aussies call an empty nester. But I love having the radio on because it's not empty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I always have music on. I have the Voice of Charity on, whatever.
There's so many apparent, and you know it, within the Lebanese community, so many people have the little radio. It's playing all day. It is their companion.
Yeah, that transistor.
If you think about it, you said it there beautifully. It is their companion. That little radio that's playing there all the time, the different programs that come up. I know my mum gets feedback from different parents, you know, from Lebanese community, you know, listening to me or listening, you know, to different people. And some people who are elderly may not be able to travel or leave their home. That is their companion. It's just a beautiful
And they love the
thing.
Arabic too.
And they love the Arabic.
Yeah, the ones that don't speak English fluent.
Yeah.
Like my mum loves listening to the Arabic.
Yeah.
She loves it. And she waits for my program only because it's me, but she doesn't understand most of it. Sorry, Mum, if you're listening. But yeah, I get, you know, I think it's important that it's multilingual. Father John was saying that we can put in there a bit of Aramaic and Syriac as well as Arabic and English, and I've thrown in a bit of Latin myself, done the Latin Rosary. So we do have a few languages on here. I think we've even had some French, I don't know. But it is important because it makes it entertaining and spiritually based as well. Yeah. So you're being informed, you're growing in your faith, learning. Like those podcasts we put on with Perusia Media, they're very, very educational when it comes to catechesis.
Perusia
you know,
Hour,
yeah, like, and with Robert Haddad and the Perusia Academy that we have running as well, and now with EWT and Flicks, I've mentioned that a few times on the Voice on the Voice of Charity. It's good where we can advertise other resources for our listeners, and we use that's right. Like Voice of Charity is being shared now on Our Lady of Lebanon's Facebook page, on the Maronite Eparchy page, on the Perusia Media page. So we're trying to spread our wings. across the eparchy, and I really want the other parishes to welcome the Voice of Charity also onto their Facebook pages, their social media, because we need them to be, I guess, universal in their sharing of the Voice of Charity, because it's not just for St. John the Beloved. Just because Voice of Charity is based here, it's not restricted to this area. It's for Australia in general, for all of Australia.
I love the cross-posting. You know, you have EWTN Asia Pacific, and you're the delegate for EWTN here in Australia and New Zealand.
It's great.
And big shout out to the team in Manila, EWTN Asia Pacific. Great people.
They sure
met
are.
them earlier this year. We cross-posted. We got Radio Maria in Melbourne. People cross-post and share content everywhere.
It's for education.
For education. And it goes beyond just Voice of Charity, and people take our content and share it in other places. It's fantastic. We want all our content to go everywhere and reach as many people as possible. And we want to expand Voice of Charity, and that requires funds. And we need the financial support to be able to grow that and make that reach more people, allow it to reach more people, even beyond
so keep it coming.
Just Sydney. As it already does. We want to expand our mission, and that does take funds. And the only reason we can't expand is because funds are limited. There's many people who volunteer here. There's many people who work behind the scenes. And
they're volunteers. So we're not raising funds.
Volunteers.
We're not raising funds for staff. We're raising funds to improve the radio's section, and that's not free.
Yeah.
Going on air costs.
It costs money.
Yeah, for the whole year. So please help us. Please help us to.
And what does
continue.
that mean? Sorry, Salwa. What does that mean practically? Does that mean maybe we might sacrifice a couple coffees a week, just beyond today? Maybe commit once a month to a little bit of a donation. That's how it begins.
Yes, a little bit here, a little bit there. Exactly, a little bit here, a little bit there. In between your electricity bills and your water bill,
if it's $15,
put a slot in there.
If it's $20, if it's
anything.
$50, that's tax deductible. Again,
and you don't even notice it once a month. You don't notice it.
We spend $17, you know, on a sandwich.
I mean, how much is a cup of coffee now? At least $6, $7. Or not when you get not if you get a hazelnut latte like I do.
Oh gosh, that's pretty. I've got to remember that one. Hazelnut latte
with almond milk.
No, I go to a place called Bar Italia. It's in Leichhardt, and they've got on their T-shirts. They say, "Don't ask for anything fancy."
Yeah, straight.
It's typical.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've gone back to the 70s.
Italian espresso.
Yeah, that's it. They've actually got on
it.
That's it. Yeah, don't. You've got it. You've got it.
That's coffee. That's coffee. There, that's it. So you said you talk on the radio with Shadia?
I was co-hosting a program with Shadia called Kanzuka Haitho Kalbuka. You know, your treasure is your heart. More likely.
So was it in Arabic?
It was all in Arabic.
Wow.
So it was great. I felt like I was running uphill and puffing, but it was really good because I was born in Lebanon, came here at age of 2 by ship.
Like me. But I came by plane when I was 2.
No, we had a handwritten thing that said not to fly by plane because back in the days of White Australia policy, Lebanese were not regarded as white.
You came on the second fleet.
Yeah, that's very good. So a lot of interesting history. I'm actually digging into the family history now, going back about 300 years and just loving the discovery of, you know, like old reel-to-reel. Like I'm talking massive reel-to-reel tapes of my grandparents' voices, even my own voice as a child, which I completely gave up on. And so,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a really, really interesting journey. And so Arabic has been something I've had a love-hate relationship with all my life. I really love the fact that it's a master key that opens probably 22 different doors, which is why I love learning Spanish, because I think Spanish is very similar.
It's a great language.
It opens a lot of doors. But, as to like how and why we're here, the other thing that strikes me, because I was talking about family and connection, but the thing about Sawt al-Mahabbi as well is it also connects you to this beautiful cycle of the liturgical calendar.
Yes.
Like you sort of know where you're at. You now know you're beginning Advent. You now know we're talking a lot about Zechariah and we're talking in a lead up. So there's this beautiful rhythm and connection that any time of year that you're on, there's a theme. You're part of a world population that is focused on a particular theme. It's not just random biblical quotes here and there.
That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah, it's a liturgical season.
It's a liturgical season which has
You
got
really
its
feel
own
it.
colour.
You really feel it.
Yeah, yeah. George, I was curious with you when you first started and why you started. What was the fire in your belly that made you realise, you know what, we need to get practical. We need that metaphor of a toolbox. What was absent or what was missing before that? Was it too theoretical and too theological, maybe? That was a quick answer, just yes?
A good question.
Yes, and allow me to expand.
Now, how much time do we have? I'm joking, I'm joking, I'm joking.
But to give you, in a nutshell, I was working on a major project as a former project manager. And this was a massive project. And we met weekly for toolbox meetings on Monday. And these meetings would bring together site managers, engineers, project managers to devise a practical strategy to deliver the project for that week on time, on cost, on quality.
Yep.
And my mind on a Monday morning dozed off into the affairs of the church, and people aren't, we're not able to reach the world, and how are we going to reach the culture, and how are we going to reach people in day-to-day life. And then it came back down, and I thought, imagine a meeting like this, or a discussion like this, or a mindset or a way of being or thinking that is practical, thinks operationally, but with the Catholic faith. How can we take the Catholic faith and then translate it with practical resolutions that we can take? Saint Josemaria Escriva, a beautiful saint, founder of Opus Dei, spoke about few but good resolutions, and that's very important because few resolutions but practical resolutions are important in our spiritual life to take action, whether it's our prayer, whether how we're going to evangelize the culture at work, maybe in mainstream media, how do we bring the Catholic faith and advance the Church of social teaching in the political sphere? How do we do that without getting shut down? On a practical level while being Catholic.
Yes.
It's about doing the practical everyday things, being, street smart as a Catholic. So I founded the show in 2019. Father John Caddy, who's behind the scenes, offered me the slot of time on Tuesday nights. And he said, I like the name, Catholic Toolbox. I love it.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
We've just been given 2 fingers from behind the screen, which I think usually means we've got 2 minutes to go. Because I love what you just said, George, and I just think it's sort of such a refreshing contrast to what often people say, oh, it's really hard being Catholic, it's really hard being Christian. You're saying, yeah, it might be, but there are little achievable steps that can get you there. And, you know, and like with your show as well, you know, care for your soul. I mean, you could have just said care for the body or care for yourself, but no, the thing that you both got in common, which is so beautiful, is about saving souls and that focus on the soul. And please, listeners, we're about to be, what's a nice way to say this?
Showing the door.
Released from the jail. The bail has been paid, but not to full, so we took the half payment.
What are you talking about?
I'm just joking.
I don't know.
I think she's overtired. I think we need to go and give them a rest.
Yes, I think we're going to give them one of your favourite coffees.
He's trying to find a word, so I jumped in and...
Oh, she's not tired at all. She was attentively listening and trying to find the word for someone that's supposed to be a wordsmith by profession.
In Lebanese culture, there is no word for please leave. Bugger off.
You know, it's funny you say that. When we first came to Australia, you know, in our culture, you often offer coffee as people are leaving. You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
That's the subtle hint.
Right? Yes, no. It's at the end. It's at the end. It's like so that you can get onto your, you know, so-called camel and not fall asleep on the way home. Well, when my mum first came to this country, she'd go into the beautiful next-door neighbours and they'd said, we'll put the kettle on. And she'd come back home saying, they're so rude. As soon as I arrived, they wanted me to go.
But in Australian culture, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
It's welcoming. If they make you a coffee or a tea, you're being welcomed into a home.
Yeah, now people do drop hints. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, what time do you start work tomorrow morning? Oh, in about 3 hours. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, can you please leave?
I might let you go. I'll have to kick you out soon.
So with that, those two fingers that I saw were not actually telling us to stop. So I was actually, were they? Were you telling us to stop?
If you want, you can continue.
We're continuing.
But we've got still youth outside, and then we have to go live to Lebanon.
Oh, look,
So
we should probably be
let's-
charitable.
yeah,
We should be
let's-
charitable
yeah, bring the youth back in.
and bring them back
Yes.
in.
Now we have St. John Youth. Before we had the Epaki Youth.
That's right.
From a
Yes.
couple of churches. And
I did
we had
mention
to
that.
we had to do them in 2 sessions because
They don't
Wallah
talk to
alayhim,
each
there
other?
were two.
There's so many of them.
I thought they cross-pollinate these days, don't they?
I
Cross.
think they do.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Okay.
This is Sawt al-Mahabbi. Ma fi illa mahabbihan. It's all love, and we need to be charitable and give someone else the chair.
So that love can have a voice. So thanks for joining
That's
us
our
tonight.
motto.
Please don't stop calling in and sending in your donations to keep this beautiful radio program, not just radio actually, it's social media platform, everything.
Thank you for everyone who donated, especially
Yes.
people I've been messaging and people you've been messaging
Thanks
and
be to
speaking
God.
to,
Yeah.
everybody that
Thank
we've
you,
been
everyone.
speaking to. Thank
Thank
you for
you all.
donating. And if you can commit to something beyond today as well, we would really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for your commitment to the Voice of Charity, and God bless your hard work.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Than's guys, it's
Thank you so much.
been great sitting here and talking and chatting.
Bye.
مبروك ينعاد علينا وشموع عيدك ضوينا والناس من كل الدنيا بصوت المحبة تلاقينا مبروك عيدك زهرت وقلوبنا علينا سهرت وبيوتنا بصوتك زرتي فيكي فرحنا تهنينا صوت المحبة مبروك يا هدية الله صوتك فينا عم يتجل عم تكبر بعمرك سنين والناس فيك بتتحل بالعيد عم نطفي شمعة والناس من حولك جمع يا ريت عيدك كل جمعة وأفراحنا عياد تضلى صوت المحبة صوت المحبة
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire, joyeux anniversaire. سنة حلوة سنة حلوة سنة حلوة مع يسوع سنة حلوة سنة حلوة سنة حلوة مع يسوع.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. To you.
أحبائي مستمرين بالبث المتواصل 24 على 24 الليلة، إذا الله راد رح منكفي لتاني نهار إذا الله بيريد. ولكن نحن هلأ المجموع صار $17,000، لكن بدنا نشكر كل الأيادي البيضاء يلي عم تساهم لاستمرارية صوت المحبة. هلأ رح نرجع لاستوديوهات صوت المحبة مع أبونا موريس. الله معك أبونا.
الله يحفظك فيرا.
كيفنا اليوم؟ إن شاء الله منك تعبان.
نهار نشكر الله رجع اتحرك شوي ووصلنا لل17,000 بنعمة ربنا وبمجهود كل الأشخاص يلي عم بيساهموا. عم نشكركم ومنشجعكم نكمل بهالمسيرة. قبل ما أعطي الميكروفون للSJB Youth لشبيبة ماريو حنا، هيدا وقتهم. هلأ بيسرني it give me great pleasure إنه أحكي مع شخص له كتير حصة برسالة أستراليا. رسالة أستراليا عزيزة كتير على قلبه، لأنه أخذت ما بعرف قد ايه من نسبة من حياته الكهنوتية. اشتقنا له والناس اشتقت له هون، ورسالة أستراليا اشتقت له، ماريو حنا اشتق له. بقى أحسن مناسبة إنه نكون عم نحكي معه هي بهالراديوتون. من كل قلبي وبفرح كبير نتلاقى على التليفون من لبنان، من صوت المحبة لبنان مباشرة لصوت المحبة أستراليا. الساعة أعتقد 1 طلل أبونا. بفرح كبير بيستقبل أبونا المدبر، أبونا الرئيس، أبونا مارون موسى. أهلا وسهلا أبونا.
الله معك أبونا موريس. الله يقويكم ويعطيكم العافية على كل شيء عم تقوموا فيه.
خلينا إياك أبونا. قبل ما أعطي لك قبل ما أعطي الميكروفون للشباب اللي حابين يسلموا عليك كمان ويحكوا معك، حابين هيك تقلنا هيك عفويا، تقلنا عن بدايات صوت المحبة، شو اللي بتتذكر من البدايات. وأكيد بدنا نسمع منك هيك أمنيات أو رسالة بتوجهها لمستمعين إذاعة صوت المحبة خصوصا بأستراليا وكل اللي عم يسمعونا خلال هالنهار. فالكلام لك أبونا، تفضل.
خلينا أول شيء مبروك أكيد لصوت المحبة، مبروك على 20 سنة يلي هيك وصلت لهم هن. أكيد 20 سنة يلي هن من البث المتواصل والبث المباشر خليني أقول، لأنه إحنا بال2004 من بعد ما افتتحنا كنيسة ماريو حنا الحبيب، من بعد كم شهر بذات السنة يعني مثل هالأيام هيدي كمان أطلقنا صوت المحبة 24 على 24 يلي كان صار لها قبل هيك 7 سنين بلشنا فيها بال1997. بلشت يعني كانت هيك بمسيرة صغيرة عم تمشي. بلشنا ساعة بالأسبوع، بعدين 3 ساعات بالنهار من خلال محطات محلية، حتى بعدين انتقل الاستوديو من بكنيسة سيد لبنان يلي بلشنا فيها تحت، حتى بعدين صار استوديو بمبنى كنيسة مار يوحنا، استوديو صغير كان بالكادسة عنا نحن حتى نكون موجودين فيه. مثل كل شغله بتبلش صغير اكيد، مثل كل حبه حنطه بتبلش حبه صغيره وبيكون فيها تضحيات كثير، يعني اذا ما وقعت وماتت بالارض اكيد ما بتكبر وتنمى ويصير عمرها 20 سنه مثل ما هلا صارت، ويلي احنا مدعوه تصير اكثر من هيك بكثير اكيد. بقى اكيد البدايات كانت، انا بقول كانت لانه انطلاقا من حاجه. نحن بنعرف انه صوت المحبه اللي هي اخذت الاسم واخذت يعني حتى بدايه البرامج بلشنا كنا عم ناخذهم من صوت المحبه لبنان، صوت المحبه الام يلي احتفلت السنه ب 40 سنه على تاسيسها وانطلاقتها ورسالتها بلبنان. ايه اكيد من بعد هيك 20 سنه من هالانطلاقه كانت حلو صوت المحبه تنتشر مع هيك انتشارنا نحن برسالتنا بوين ما كان. وهيدي صارت حاجه، مثل ما كان في حاجه بلبنان انه نحس انه محتاجين يكون عندك، خاصه بايام الحرب اللي كانت بلبنان، ومع الاسف الحرب بعد بلبنان ما تغير شيء، بس دائما محتاج انه باصوات النشاز واصوات البغض والكره محتاج لصوت يطلع شوي يكون قوي اسمه صوت المحبه. باستراليا ما كان في حرب، لكن باستراليا كان في حاجه حقيقه حاجه روحيه، انه كلمه الله توصل لقلب انسان، لبيت كل انسان، لانه مش كل الناس كان قادرين يجوا على الكنيسه، كان محتاج انت بكلمتك توصل الناس اللي ان كانوا موجودين بالسيارات وان كانوا موجودين ببيوتهم انه توصلوا كلمه الله.
ابونا مارون، بدون احراج وبدون ما نحكي بالتفاصيل اللي منا ضروريه للناس يسمعوا، بس كيف تختصر تحديات مسيره الاذاعه بدايتها وصولا لليوم؟ هيك كيف تختصر باختصار التحديات؟
لك خلينا نقول اول شيء في تحديات، كانت تحديات انه الناس كان شيء جديد عليها الناس، وانه يكون في اذاعه جديده، لانه مع الاسف خلينا نقول انه باستراليا بعدنا لهلا كمان بعد 20 سنه بوقتها ما كان في اذاعه كاثوليكيه خلينا نقول بالكنيسه، وبعدنا لهلا كمان ما في اذاعه كاثوليكيه باستراليا، يعني ما كان في. التحدي الاول كان انه الناس يتعودوا انه هن يسمعوا على يعني يسمعوا كلمه الله خارج اطار الكنيسه، يعني الناس معودين انه القداس والصلاه اللي بتعمله بالكنيسه ومن بعد منها انت ما عندك شيء تعمله يعني الصلوات العاديه، بس انه تتابع هالشيء اللي سمعته بالكنيسه يكون استمراريه له بحياتك اليوميه، بشغلك، ببيتك، بسيارتك. هيدي كان في اول تحدي لنا كان اكيد. التحدي الثاني خلينا نقول انه هو التحدي المالي المادي، يلي هو بمعنى انه انت يحس الانسان انه هو هيدي محتاجه لدعم، يعني لانه بالاساس هي منا اذاعه، الناس معودين على الاذاعات يلي هي ما بتطلب مصاري عاده. الاذاعات الثانيه لانه هي بتمشي من خلال الدعايات والاعلانات يلي هن بيعملوها، اللي بتطلع اذاعه وكل سنه بنقول له للناس انه نحن محتاجين لدعمكم حتى نبقى ونستمر. هيدي كمان كانت تحدي مثل ما هلا، يعني هالراديوثون اللي صار له كمان كل هالفتره هيدي عم نعمل كل هالسنين، الهدف منه حتى نقول للناس انه صوت المحبه بتمشي بمحبه الناس، نحن ما فينا نمشي تجاريا وما فينا نمشي مثل ما غيرنا نمشي. والتحدي الكبير انه الناس اقتنعوا انه صوت المحبه بدها مصاري، يعني الناس اول بيفكروا انه هي بتمشي بدون مصاري، مثل ما يمكن ما بعرف شو بيمشي بدون مصاري، حتى نقول له لا، في مصاريف، يعني في مصاريف انترنت، في مصاريف انترنت، في مصاريف كهرباء، في مصاريف اشخاص اللي هن بدهم كمان يعطوا من وقتهم حتى يكونوا عم يشتغلوا. هذا كان التحدي كمان الثاني. بقى بتصور هذا يمكن رح يضلوا في تحدي، رح يضلوا مستمر، بلش بالبدايه وبيضلوا، بس ربنا بيدبر اكيد.
يعني السؤال المنطقي اللي بيتبع هالسؤال، اذا حكينا عن اختصرنا التحديات، اذا فينا نختصر أسرار النجاح. أنت كمان أبونا مارون حسب خبرتك ومعرفتك أسرار نجاح هال20 سنة، إذا بدي أطلب منك تختصر لنا إياهم كمان كيف تختصرون؟ يعني تقريبا السؤال بيشبه هداك بس عم نحكي عنه هلا بطريقة إيجابية.
لكن باختصرهم انه اسرار النجاح انه صارت صوت المحبه حققت اول هدف لها، انه صارت حاجه عند الناس. يعني على مسيره ال20 سنه صرنا نسمع كلمات ما كنا نسمعهم، انه انا بتنفس صوت المحبه بس انا اشخاص. انا صوت المحبه هي مثل الاكسجين لإلي، وهدي مثل الضوء. اذا ما فيني مثل انا ما فيني اعيش بدون ضوء، ما فيني اعيش بدون صوت المحبه. هيدا بتصور كان من اهم سر لنجاح صوت المحبه، انه قدرت مش بس توصل على البيت، قدرت توصل على قلب وعلى حاجه الانسان، وخاصه الاشخاص يلي هن صارت رفيقه حياتهم. وخاصه نحن بنعرف انه باستراليا في كثير اشخاص عندهم مشكله بيعيشوا بوحده او بعزله، لانه بلد شغل وبلد عمل. يعني اذا الاولاد عم يروحوا يشتغلوا بتبقى الام والبيت يمكن بالبيت، بضل في حدا يسليهم اللي هي صوت المحبه اللي بتبقى وسيلتهم وتسليتهم. حتى اختبار لكثير من الاشخاص المرضى يلي كانوا على فراش المرض ويمكن والموت، وكان راديو صوت المحبه حتى مخدتهم. كان هيدا يعني كان يلي صار هو مثل ما هن حاطين الاكسجين حتى يعيشوا، كان حاطين صوت المحبه حتى يعيشوا. بتصور هذا هو سر نجاح صوت المحبه، انه هي قدرت تكون حاجه، وقدرت تكون هيك قوه لروحيه ونور للانسان.
يعني واكيد بدي زيد على الشيء اللي تفضلت فيه ابونا. كمان مجهود الكهنه ومجهود العديد من الناس يلي كانوا يحطوا من وقتهم ومن يعني كان في كتير كمان لفتة حلوة، لفتة جامعة حلوة حول الإذاعة من خلال أشخاص كتار يعني نوعا ما تبنوها للإذاعة. وأكيد ما فينا ننسى نعمة ربنا يلي بتشتغل من خلال الناس الضعاف، ومن خلال كمان الحماس والدعوة والموهبة يلي موجودة عنا كلنا. أبونا مارون، شو بتتوجه لصوت المحبة هلأ بالراديوتون 2024 لكل الأشخاص يلي عم يسمعونا هلأ؟ نعتبر هيك رسالة من أبونا مارون لكل عم يسمعوا. قبل ما أعطي الميكرو للشبيبة ناطرين كمان حابين إنه يحكوا معك كمان، بس هيك وجه رسالة بليز. خلينا نوجه رسالة لكل يلي عم يسمعونا بهالوقت هيدا.
يعني رسالتي هي رسالة أكيد صوت المحبة، إنه ما لازم صوت المحبة توقف. خلينا دايما نقولها هيدي. يعني ما لازم يكون في عقدة من خلال صوت المحبة أو توصل صوت المحبة أو تبقى تستمر. صار عمرها 20 سنة ولازم تكمل، لأنه هيدي حاجة طالما إحنا موجودين. مشان هيك قادرين كلنا سوا نكون عم نساهم فيها. اللي بيساعد صوت المحبة وخليني نقولها هي هالناس يلي بيعطوا يلي احنا بنسميه فرس الأرملة. ولا مرة صوت المحبة كانت عم تتكل على عطايا وتقديمات كبيرة، كان دايما عم تتكل على عطايا صغيرة لكن بمحبة كبيرة. مشان هيك أنا دعوتي وتشجيعي لكل الأشخاص يلي عم يسمعونا ويمكن رح يرجعوا يسمعونا بعدين، إنه حقيقة يحطوا حصة دائمة لصوت المحبة على جنب، ولو كان هالقد قليلة، لكن هيدي بقدر تخلي صوت المحبة توقع وتستمر. هيك بلشت، هيك كانت، وهيك رح تبقى تكمل. مشان هيك كلنا سوا قادرين نكون عم نساهم. يعني هالشيء اللي بنعطيه من هيك من قلبنا، ولو كان اقل شيء ممكن الانسان يقدر يعطيه، بس نعطيه من قلبنا ومحبتنا اكيد قدرنا تكمل، وقادرين كلنا سوا نكون عم نعطي. يعني حرام الانسان بس يكون عم يتفرج يقول ايه حلو صوت المحبه ومنيحه الله يقويكم. انا بقول انه حلو يعمل شيء دغري، شيء عملي، ويقول انه هيدا التزامي او هيدا تقدمتي لصوت المحبه، وما نخجل بالعدد القليل. يعني لانه نحن عندنا هالمبدا بيقولوا البصنه بتصنع خيبيه. هالدولار يلي ممكن نقول انا بدي اعطيكم دولار او 2 دولار او 5 دولار، انا بقول هيدا اذا طلع من قلبه الانسان اكيد بيكون عم يسند صوت المحبه.
ميرسي ابونا. من ضمن صوتنا اكيد لصوتك الشغف للعمل الرسولي يلي كان واضح، وهلا انت عم بتعيشه منكلفك كمان بالسلامات للجميع بصوت المحبة بلبنان. بنطلب منكم
أكيد
كمان
وصل.
تصلوا لنا، ونحن كمان نصلي لكم لنكمل بهالدعوة. ربنا يباركك، وبشكرك أنا من كل قلبي وباسم كل الأشخاص يلي تعرفهم وبيعرفوك وبيحبوك واشتاقوا لك. أنا بضم صوتي لألون وبنحكي باسمهم، وبدي أقول لك ميرسي كمان على المجهود يلي حطيته لوصلت. أنت أكيد بالتعاون مع الكهنة ومع كل الأشخاص يلي كانوا معك وحدك لحتى اللي وصلت صوت المحبة للمرحلة اللي نحن وصلنا له. وإن شاء الله بنعمة ربنا وبوجود الكتار كمان نقدر منكمل ونقدر نحافظ على هالرسالة، وإن شاء الله بتكون أقوى وأقوى يوم عن يوم. ميرسي أبونا.
امين.
بدي اطلب منك
الله يقويك،
تخليك
الله
معنا
يقويك.
لانه الشبيبه عم بنطوا حوالينا هون، حابين كمان يحكوا. بناخد فاصل صغير لنعطي المجال للشباب يفوتوا على الاستوديو، وان شاء الله بنحكيك عن قريب. الله يقويك ابونا، ميرسي من كل قلبنا.
الله يقويك.
الله يبارك.
مبروك مبروك.
أحبائي عم نسمع ترتيلة جديدة، جينجل جديد لصوت المحبة من تقديم فؤاد حراقة. ضوي بهالعتمة هدني، لكن فؤاد حراقة ضوي بعتمة هدني لصوت المحبة.
إيماني مقدسي باسم المسيح مكرسي، نور السماء يضوي عكل الدروب، صوت المحبة حامل سلام، صوت التآخي والوئام، حملي صوت المحبة لكل الناس، صوت المحبة حامل سلام، صوت التآخي والوئام، وازرعي بالأرض حب وماله قياس.
دخلت البيوت محيت العتمة، زينت القلوب بالفرح والبسمة، خليت الإنسان شعشع بالإيمان، يتخلى عن قديمه ويعيش السلام. عقبال المليون يا صوت المحبة، يا صوت الإنجيل، يا نعم من ربي، للسماء انت الدليل، ينعاد عليك قليل، ينعاد عليك قليل، يا صوت المحبة.
Open your heart to the voice of God with the voice of charity. Open your heart to the voice of God with the voice of charity.
The voice of charity ensures that love may have a voice. We thank our listeners for celebrating with us. Happy anniversary, Voice of Charity.
أحبائي رح ننتقل هلأ مع شبيبة مار يوحنا الحبيب. اسم الله عليكم شو كتار. منين بدي بعد جيب كراسي لقعدكم. اسم الله عليكم.
الله معكم أحبائي عن جديد. ثانك يو إنه عم تضلوا معنا، عم نشوف الكومنتس اللي عم تحطوا لنا إياهم، وعم نقرا كل شيء، ومنوجه تحيات للكل اللي عم يحضرونا هلا والكل اللي عم يحطوا لنا كومنتس. بدي أذكركم إنه اللاينز are still open. You can still call up on 96256111. We are at 17,000 at the moment, and we all said behind the scenes we are not leaving here tonight until
$20,000.
we hit 20,000. So that is the goal. Help us get there, you know, at a decent time so we aren't sleeping here the night. So hopefully we can get there. We are reading your comments, so if you would like to share any thoughts or have any questions, please feel free to comment on social media. As you can see next to me, new faces. So as Vera said, Smallah youth tonight كتار مش عم
وفي
بيساووا
behind the scene
أبداً.
كمان، يعني إذا بدي أعد لكم إياهم راح أضيع.
مزبوط كتار. اسم صليب, which is good. هلا some new faces. If you would like to introduce yourself, Tony, and your
hi.
role in the committee.
My name is Tony. I'm the spiritual coordinator here at St. John the Beloved. It's a pleasure to be serving along each side of you.
Beautiful. How long have you been in the committee, Tony?
Wow, been here for the committee for now would have been 7 months.
Beautiful. That's good. If you can just pass the microphone on to Therese. Therese, introduce yourself, your role, and how long you've been in the committee.
My name is Therese, and I'm also the spiritual coordinator at St. John since January this year, I believe. So nearly 11 months.
Beautiful. That's very good. And we've got some new faces to my left too. Sam, if you can just pass the microphone to George. Introduce yourself and how long you've been in the committee. How long? Very new.
My name's George, and I've been in the committee for about like a week.
A week, yes. So extremely
Only
new.
a week.
And yeah.
But how long have you been in the parish or involved in the parish?
I've been in the
for?
parish for 18 years.
Okay,
and I'm
there you
18
go.
years
and
old.
you're 18 years old. So since
So, yeah.
you
Since the
were-
pram.
Since the pram, beautiful. And Bridget.
Hi, my name's Bridget. I'm the secretary, and it's a bit too loud. Anyways, I've been here since, I guess, Abuna picked me up off the road. What was that, like 11 months ago?
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting story. When Abuna told us someone by the name of Bridget is joining the committee, we all said, "Who's Bridget?" So we never actually asked you how did that happen? How did you join the
found me on the road.
microphone? How did that happen? Where were you? What was
I was on the road.
On the road.
On the road.
I was walking, and he just found me and picked me up. And that's it.
To come and join the church.
Yeah. See, it's always
He took evangelization to the next level.
Yeah. That's our goal. That's our goal as the youth. So yeah, once again, thank you all for tuning in. We are reading the comments. Zola, George's mum, بنوجه لها تحية. She says, "Love you all. God bless our youth." So thank you for watching. And Suzanne commented earlier for Abuna Maroon. So we are reading everyone's comments. Thank you again. And the lines are open, I would like to remind.
And we've got a call.
We do have a call. Okay.
Yes,
We have a
we're
phone
gonna
call.
from Lebanon.
From Lebanon.
Yeah, we're gonna go live from Lebanon. Hello, Abuna. Whoops. أبونا لحظة يا أبونا. أبونا تفضل.
تفضل بس with this music. يلا.
يلا. شبيبة مار يوحنا موجودة.
هلا guys.
Hi, Abuna.
الله معك أبونا. اشتقنا لك.
هاي الله معكم.
أكيد عم تقدر تشوفهم أنت.
Yeah, of course. وكنت was listening to you يعني and welcome to the new faces. Tony, Therese, George, Bridget.
أبونا اشتقنا لك وصوت المحبة اشتقت لك أكثر. خبرنا كيف لبنان بالنسبة لل you know the journey, Voice of Charity journey in Lebanon in comparison to Australia. What's the main difference?
Actually, this year, Voice of Charity in Lebanon, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of Voice of Charity in Lebanon. The Voice of Charity started here as a radio in 1984. at the Feast of Pentecost. And this year, the whole year, we celebrated this 40th anniversary. And some 10 years or maybe 15 years ago, we started to be radio and TV as a charity TV, but it's all together. Mainly, most of our programs goes on radio and TV as a Voice of Charity radio and Charity TV as a TV. Of course, here in Lebanon, it's a little bit different because it's there's many channels, very Christian channels here in Lebanon as radios, and even there's TV channels. The difference in Australia, I think Voice of Charity is the only Christians network on media or on the radio in Australia as a Catholic. That's unfortunately, I say, when we started the Voice of Charity 20 years ago to be 24/7, we were the first one, and everyone saying, "Wow, we have Catholic radio now on the radio." But till now, Australia doesn't have any broadcasting, Catholic broadcasting on radio. We know there's on the internet, on other maybe social media. But here in Lebanon, because there's many others, that's why we had to find our special characteristic or a special mission for Voice of Charity between the others, to be the voice of the church mainly, and to be the for the youth, because we have many youth. They come and they do the programs here at the Voice of Charity, and this is where we found our mission here.
That's beautiful to know. And on the note of youth, أبونا, I think سليم كان عنده سؤال لك عن الشبيبة بلبنان. سليم.
أول شيء الله معك أبونا، اشتقنا لك.
يا أهلا يا سليم، الله يقويك.
Thank you. لك كنا عم نحكي من قبل شو بدنا نسألك. فتحنا الحديث عن الشبيبة. هلا أنت بالنسبة لك أنت كنت هون 13 سنة إذا مني غلطان، مزبوط؟ أكتر. ما بعرف، المهم
بأستراليا 25 years.
اسم الصليب 25 years. 13 years as superior.
Longer.
As a superior, 18 years.
18 years. Anyway, هلا أنت شايف كتير من الشبيبة شفتهم اجوا وشفتهم راحوا. أنت بالنسبة لك أنت هلا صرت بلبنان، شو بتلاقي المين differences، أو السؤال الأضبط، بتحس انه في مثل هالنار اللي بتلاقيها هون خاصة بمار يوحنا الحبيب بتلاقيها بلبنان، بالشبيبة بلبنان، فيها في differences او فيها similarities؟
لك انا بقول في differences. انا دائما هون بقول لهم، وانا بنبسط فيها، انا proud of it، بقول لهم انه انا دائما بشوف the faith in Australia is more active and deeper than here in Lebanon. يعني even because لأنه I feel in Australia you need, because the church is not only your place of worship, it's place of gathering, the place of when you get together as a community. Here in Lebanon, the church is only place of worship. You go and pray and then you go home, and because there's a lot of opportunities for you to meet the other, let's say, the Lebanese or the Arab or from your own community. That's why in Australia, this is unique and this is beautiful, because you have this الحرارة or الشوق, this in you. You want to be there because you want to be, because you are proud of yourself, because we are proud to be, let's say, Maronite. We are proud to be, we belong to this church. The sense of belonging, I think it's in Australia more here in Lebanon. In Lebanon, no one will say, okay, I belong to this. Okay, I belong to the church in general. But when you say, I belong to St. John, let's say, I belong like as if St. John, it's my home. It's not only a church to go there and go home. It's my home. You can stay. You feel home. You feel at home when
حتى من
you're at the
قبل
church.
حتى من قبل بعرف انه اللي جايين من لبنان ساهن جداد كانوا يقولوا لي انه بيحسوا هون بيحسوا انه بمار يوحنا بيحسوا حالهم كانهم من لبنان. بعرف تريز كانت عم تقلي من قبل هيك ذات الشيء ما هيك؟
Yes, yeah, definitely. بحس انه هونيك بلبنان في اليوث بيركزوا اكتر على الظهرات وانك تتعرف على غير ناس. بس هون باستراليا بتحس انه بيجوا على القداس لانه they have that missing faith and they have that missing part of their life which is يعني the Lebanese community and there's just a bit of difference with the way people actually approach God and approach their faith. I think هون بيجوا in a more of a authentic way. I think in Lebanon sometimes it's because you have to. It's like مثلا بتروح على القداس لأنه you have to with your family. هون بتروح it's more of an individual choice. At least as an adult I feel like that. Yeah.
مثل ما عم تقول تريز كثير هذا كثير مهم لأنه especially أقول الديفرنس هون بلبنان بتحس إنه أوكي في انت بلبنان يعني مثلا اوكي الاكثريه مثلا هون قاعدين نحن بيجوني كلهم مسيحيين كلهم موارنه. باستراليا بتحس انت مش عايش يعني اذا كنت بالشغل او كنت وين ما كان عم تكون بدك تحافظ على هويتك يعني this identity اللي انت بتحسها it's important for you. This is what you bring to the church, not because you have to go because your parents are, because you have to be, you have to clarify your identity. You have to be because you are proud of your identity of your ancestors. Let's say نحن كلنا صار مبسوطين او بنحب انه ايه مبسوطين نحن اللبنانيه وبنرقص بترقصوا دبكه وبسم الله عليكم and you feel because this is part of your identity. يعني مثل ما الدبكه part of your identity كمان the liturgy is part of your identity. تحس حالك انت ايه I'm proud of it. وهذه فيها this heritage and the culture. all they good يعني بعرف انه all the Israeli churches, the local churches, they're all يعني they're all Catholic let's say, but we have this unique culture, we have this unique liturgy let's say. This is I think what we are proud of it and we want to keep it alive.
Yeah, correct. Tony يمكن كان بعد عنده سؤال لك أبونا.
I did. Hi, Abuna.
God
bless you, Abuna. First of all, I miss you very much. I attended your masses very often. I remember when you were here in Australia, and I always enjoyed your homilies the most. You had a way of putting forth ideas and taking the scripture from the Bible and putting it into our hearts, and I enjoyed that very much. So thank you.
Thank God for that.
God bless you. My question to you is, what about St. John the Beloved do you miss? You've mentioned some things already, but what specifically do you miss about this particular church?
It's for me, this particular church is, I call it always my baby. I miss my baby.
Amazing.
Because it's not only because I was involved from the creation of this, from the conception of this baby, of this church, from the purchasing of the land, doing the plans, dealing with the government, doing the construction and everything. It's like literally it's like a baby. That's why for me it's everything in it. Every corner, every stone in it, for me, it's important.
It must have been so hard letting it go, but at the same time, you always hold a piece of St. John the Beloved with you, I'm sure, even though you are in Lebanon now.
Yeah, of course. And for me, St. John the Beloved was my school. Let's say, it's not only, as you mentioned, when I'm priest, doing the mass or delivering the homily, but I learn from my homily equally. What you learn. I learn from it because I prepare it and ask the Holy Spirit to to guide me, to give me the wisdom, to do the homily. But I learned from it. And for me, it's, for 20 years, let's say St. John was my actual school, school of faith for me. I grew up there, as a man of God.
I think أبونا مثل ما قلت أنت ولدت للكنيسة أنت ربيتها وهلأ تركت legacy كتير مهم ونحن بدنا نمشي بهيدي الطريق. نحن بدنا نكفي هذا المشروع، بدنا نكفي نكبرها للكنيسة. بتذكر صارت جيسي معنا ورا الكواليس، بس بتذكر أيام بعتقد كان اسمه شو هابي ساوندز، كانت الفويس اوف تشاريتي بالايج كارنز، كان الساوند بروف طابول الحيط والسيلينج كان معمول من الايج كارنز. مزبوط. وانا بتذكر كنت يمكن انا عمري maybe 6 years old كنا نجي وجيسي كانت تكون معنا على طول. I think كان اسمه هابي ساوندز. مزبوط.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So نحن بدنا نكفي هذا المشوار و as the youth واليوث اسم الله كبروا كتير كعدد، يعني صرنا كتار وبدنا نكفي هالنشاطات إن كان بس الشبيبة أو رعية كمان. نحن صرنا عم نستلم كتير مشاريع للرعية not just youth، يعني صرنا عم نجرب نحط إيدنا بكل شيء تنكبرها أكتر تنضم عالم أكتر، خصوصاً التينيجرز الصغار ونصير نكبر سوا. وفي بلانز كبيرة وحكينا عنهم بال 20 year gala أنا دينا حكينا عن البلانز، عن المشروع الجديد، مشروع لصوت المحبة، new studio, new offices, new child care center. هذا المشروع بدنا نكفي فيه، بدنا نهمه ونعمل قد ما فينا مجهود تنكبر سوا.
لك هيدي منيحه عم تقولي يا رشال، لان انتم يعني وقت اللي احنا عمرنا الكنيسه كنتوا ستيل بيبيز، ما كنتوا حتى في منكم بعد بكري خلق يعني. بس انه كان دائما تقولوا، يعني مثل ما انا دائما بقول انه كان اقول this is my parents' church, let's say, because my parents were involved in this church. بس هلا اجى الوقت تقولوا this is my church، يعني انا I am involved, I am responsible for this church, not my parents. I am responsible for this because this is your future and this is for your children too. عشان هيك انه مهم كثير انتم تحسوا حالكم انه نحن we have to be involved in this church and to be committed. يعني مثل ما هلا انتم كمان عم تجوا على Voice of Charity حتى تكونوا كمان تعملوا يعني this show and to encourage people to donate to Voice of Charity. I think this is important. I think we have to encourage the youth to be involved more than يعني بعرف usually the parents and the older people هن بيعملوا اكثر more the donation maybe, but I think مهم كثير نحس حالنا نحن كمان as a youth إذا عملنا this little commitment أو little donation as little as $10 maybe. Well, أنا $10 per month I'm going to be to donate this to the church or to the radio station because they're all together. I think this is important. It's a feeling of responsibility. تحس حالك أنتم مهمين. إذا فيكم تحسوا كل هالشبيبة إنه كل واحد بيشتغل، يعني عنده wages، كل واحد بيشتغل. إذا بس يقول أنا $5 يمكن a month، إذا فيكم تجيبوا شو عرفني 1,000 of them. This is شو عرفني this 5,000. يعني at least you can do something. بس تحس حالك with this donation أنت you are part of this church. You are not only a guest. This is your home. This is your church.
Yes, 100% Abuna, and we said it before this segment, and كنا عم نقول Voice of Charity, it's not for St. John. It belongs in the grounds of St. John the Beloved, but it is for everyone. It is for the whole eparchy. We as a youth, and I said to them to hold me accountable, we have to make sure we're using this. We have the best tool. As you said, it's probably one of the only Catholic radio stations in Australia that is 24/7. We have to use this tool that we have to grow this station and grow our faith. So any cent counts. Any cent helps us continuing to grow the Voice of Charity. You know, literally $10, as Abuna said, once a month will help us keep growing. And we encourage every parish to use the radio station, to come do programs with St. John. We can collaborate together. So hopefully we can make that happen in the new year. and just make sure we are targeting the youth and using the radio station to target the youth, not only the Arabic shows in the morning. We have to utilize this tool that we have. So God willing, we can make that happen. And I'd like to remind everyone, and all the bank details are on the screen, and if you can make a donation, we would appreciate any cent. And the lines are open if you would like to call up. I believe, if I'm not wrong, we need to start to wrap it up because we have another line joining us soon. أبونا.
مزبوط. اسمحوا لي معنا أقول الله معك للأب والخي والصديق الأب مارون موسى. الله معك أبونا.
الله معي جيسي.
اشتقنا لك، اشتقنا نشوفك. أكيد أهلا ببيتك.
أنا اشتقت لك.
بصوت المحبة. كبرت البنوت أبونا صار عمرها 20 سنة.
صرت صبية، بطلت بنوت صغيرة.
مزبوط، صرت صبية وكل سنة عم تكبر بالقامة وبالنعمة وبالحكمة. نشكر الله. ومثل ما قلت أبونا هيك بحب وجه تحية لكل الأشخاص يلي تبرعوا اليوم لإذاعة صوت المحبة. البنوت يلي صارت كبيرة عمرها 20 سنة. وبنحب نذكركم إنه نحن هسه ما خلصنا اليوم. أبونا مارون he loves the rounded numbers, so that's exactly what we're going to do. 20,000 شبيبة الهدف اليوم. فأخوتي الأحبة أكيد نحن ندعيكم تتصلوا وتشاركوا معنا وتحكوا معنا كمان على الهواء. نحن معكم مباشرة على الإذاعة للساعة 12 بعتقد. نحن معودين نكفي الجولة والسهرة مع يسوع وأكيد مع كل الأشخاص يلي انضموا لنا. رقمنا 96256111 واللي عم بيشاهدونا على الفيسبوك وعلى اليوتيوب فيكم تشوفوا الأرقام تبع البي اس بي والأكاونت نمبر كمان. أبونا مارون أكيد نحن بنحب نضل نحكي معك ونسهر معك، بس عنا ضيف كمان تاني رح ينضم لنا. فبس بحب هيك أسألك just زويدة تعطينا إياها آخر شيء بخلاص الحديث اليوم.
يعني الزوادة هي مثل ما يسوع وقت اللي سألوه يعني آخر وقت كان معهم شو هي الزوادة، قال لهم حبوا بعضكم بعض مثل ما أنا حبيتكم. خلينا نقول يسوع إنه love one another as Jesus loves you. هذه أهم شغلة، هيدي اللي بنخلي كل شيء إن كان الكنيسة أو البيت أو العائلة أو كل شيء بيضل موجود إذا في حب. ما بينفع إنسان نجمع 20,000 بس نحن ما في هيك حب مع بعضنا. بس إذا كنا في حب ولو جبنا only 2,000 فينا نعمل فيهم شيء، لأنه بيكونوا هودي لايك البركة، وهالبركة هيدي بتكون it's a blessing وبيكبر وبيكمل. بقى أهم شيء نعرف إن إحنا عم we are building the church as a faithful people not as a building. بقى وهيدي ما بتنعمر إلا بس بالحب. الله يقويكم and congratulations again.
ثانك يو أبونا. آمين يا رب. وقبل ما نودعك أبونا مارون أب بول موجود معنا، بول شدياء وجون وهبي كمان بيسلموا كتير على ما عم يسمعوا. أبونا says hi. ثانك يو. طول بعمرك أبونا. إخوتي الأحبة أكيد رح نكفي جولتنا اليوم مع ضيف مميز. ما رح لكم هلا. We're going to discover who is going to be the guest very, very soon. So stay tuned. Please don't go anywhere. Just a reminder, you are able to call and donate. Our number here is 96256111. We are waiting for your phone calls. Please don't go anywhere.
Congratulations. This year we are celebrating 20 amazing years with you on the Voice of Charity. We thank you for your love and support, and it's because of you that we've come this far. We're so excited for the many, many more memories to come. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and God bless you all. Anna Maria.
Who would believe that I could be happy and contented? I used to think that happiness hadn't.
رحلة 20 سنة مع صوت المحبة.
اخوتي الاحبه بنشكركم. اكيد رح نكفي جولتنا اليوم مع ضيفنا الجديد. اكيد ابونا موريس رح يكون معنا على الهواء مباشره very very soon. بس بحب وجه تحيه لكل عم بيشاهدونا على فيسبوك وعلى يوتيوب. رح نقلكم انه رح we're gonna stop the streaming on Facebook and YouTube just for about 5 minutes just so we can start up the stream again. لأن اسم الصليب علينا عم نكفي the stream all day. تعبنا يوتيوب، تعبنا فيسبوك، بده يرتاح مع 5 minutes. فخليكن معنا. Don't go anywhere. نحن اسا ما خلصنا اليوم. We're still on air. We're just going to pause the live stream for about 5 minutes on Facebook and YouTube. Stay tuned.
وعلى هندسة الصوت عبير سليمان الياس.
بالغربي خليكي بغربي وديني بالغربي يا نعمي من راح.
صوت المحبة ينعاد عليكي وعقبال 100 سنة.
ألو، صوت المحبة، كيفك اليوم؟ مدري ليه خطر عبالي اليوم اسأل عنك. 20 سنة وانت بتسألي عنا. يا لطيف العمر كيف بيمرق غفلة. غمض عينك